The NASCAR Xfinity Series set to take on the high banks of Talladega today for the 33rd time. Our Fox weather, spectacular, 84 degrees, slight wind, track temp at 119. It's going to get warm behind the wheel this afternoon. You know, 6 times a driver has picked up their first career victory in the Xfinity race at Talladega. It happened 1 season ago, courtesy of Jeb Burton, driving for Colleague Racing. He was out front. The rains came, and he celebrated. Today, he's driving for a different team, hoping for the same result. He rolls 22nd. Let's go from the driver's seat.
All right, let's dial him on up. Hey, Jeb Burton, this is Kurt Busch, Austin Dillon, Adam Alexander in the Fox booth. You got us?
Yes, sir. I got you, buddy.
Thanks again for carrying the visor cam. We're digging it, but man, you're going to have some different set of voices coming through your ears. You've got Pops. You got Richard Childress as your spotter today.
I don't know about that.
Jeffrey.
Oh, Jeffrey. My bad. I got the wrong crossed up there. All right, tell us about your State Water Heaters visor cam and how you're going to back up the win you had here in the spring.
Yeah, man, Talladega has been a good place for me. Led the white flag lap here a couple years ago and won, obviously, last year. So it's been a good track for me, and Speedway's been really good to me, too. So hopefully we can get this State Water Heater Rocky Boots Chevrolet back in victory lane. Just want to tell Misty Mello, hope she's watching, hope she's feeling better. She had a surgery, so we're thinking about it.
Very good. We'll do. We'll give her our best, and best of luck. Make smart decisions, and make us proud.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Okay, we all know the magnitude of racing at Talladega. This place is massive. And to cover it, you have to have people everywhere. And we do. We go to our Brady Bunch look, right? I mean, we got Coleman Presley on the spotter stand. Regan Smith, who is one here, is on pit road with Vince Welsh. And we're also going to be able to talk throughout the race to America's crew chief, Larry McReynolds, who has had an unbelievable week, okay? His daughter got married. He drives from Savannah, Georgia, up to Bristol, Tennessee, does the dirt, got lost on the way home with Jamie Mack. He finally makes it back down to Charlotte, drives to Welcome to get all set up for his duties today, crew chiefing the number 3. And eventually, he was able to make it here to Talladega Superspeedway yesterday, and he is all ready to go to work. Talk to your newest employee, Austin.
Hey, Larry Mack, this is Austin Dillon in the Fox booth, buddy. Just checking in. I know you're pumped about this. What's your strategy for today?
Yeah, I mean, the main thing, Austin, is just to get this thing wound down to log some laps. You know, we're not here for stage points. Up front's obviously the best place that we can stay. We got a game plan in place as far as our strategy with the other RCR teams, and just try to execute it.
Well, Larry, have fun out there. I think your biggest challenge is probably going to be my dad spotting up there for Jeffrey, so keep him calm, and you guys have fun today. Go get it. I know y'all are going to stay aggressive from the jump.
Oh, we will. Keeping him calm and keeping your grandfather calm. That's probably going to be my biggest challenge.
Well, thanks again, buddy, and good luck. Go have us a good day.
I think I'm more worried about keeping Pop calm than I am Jeffrey behind the wheel. We said Coleman Presley is with us once again, always adding great insight from the spotter stand. What can you tell us as we get set for the green flag today, Coleman?
Hey, Adam, thank you. Friends are your best friends today. They're going to help you in the draft, help you get to the front. A couple organizations I'm looking at here right off the bat, the front row RCR. Looking to see if maybe we possibly see a teammate restart with the 3 jumping up in front of the 21 and lining up with the 2 of Sheldon Creed. Maybe they can control this first stage. Another group I want to look at, starting a little further back outside of the top 10, but really aggressive drivers, the Junior Motorsports group. Got Justin Allgaier, Noah Gragson, people that aren't afraid to make the big moves. I look for them to get together quickly, march to the front, and be a factor here by the end of the race.
I'm sorry they didn't qualify well, but I'm excited to watch those JRM cars come through the field, in particular Noah Gragson, who rolls off, as you saw there, in the 19th position. Regan drove for Junior Motorsports, won here in 2013. What do you have for us today, Regan?
Well, Adam, I got a kick out of Larry McReynolds just saying how he was going to have to keep everybody calm on the radio, because I've got proof right here that it's actually Larry McReynolds that's going to have to be kept calm today. This clipboard, circa 2001 of Larry McReynolds' final clipboards on the pit box with driver Mike Skinner. He was breaking them every week. Mike Dillon told me when he handed this to me straight out of the RCR archives, he said, we had to add an extension to the museum for the amount of clipboards Larry would break. He'd slam it down, it'd break every week. I can confirm Larry does not have a plastic clipboard. He's got something that he can't break today. Vince Welch.
Well, the youngest driver in the field also happens to be one of the series' hottest drivers with 3 straight top 5s. That's 18-year-old Sam Mayer. Now, the most recent Xfinity Series race, Mayer drew a lot of attention for his fight on pit road at Martinsville with Ty Gibbs. The discontent between those two runs deep, and that's not likely to change. But Mayer told me today that he is 100% confident and concentrating on this race regardless of who he's racing around. He did say, however, he wouldn't be surprised or hold back if he's racing Ty Gibbs for the win at the end of the day today. Adam?
I would say Murphy's Law. This happens 2 weeks ago. Next race, they're working together in the draft. Isn't that how it always works out?
Always. Like Dale Jarrett taught me when I was running into a bunch of guys early in my career, was it's called a magnet. You just end up with a magnet on your car and you run right back into that guy and you're like, man, I got to deal with this.
Yeah, and then driver intros right off the start. You probably got to see him right there for a little bit. It's always awkward.
Yeah.
Anticipating the green flag. Let's go to some 3 radio as we are almost ready to go.
All right, buddy. Have you a good day out there. Larry Mack and these guys will take care of you in your pits. Just be sharp all day. We'll be there at the end. Have a shot at it.
Yes, sir. Sounds good. Thank you for this opportunity.
It's pretty cool. You know, I think one thing I respect my grandfather, he's always at the track. You always see him as a stalwart in our sport, and he's always going to key that mic before and say, hey, let's have a good day, solid pit stops. Let's go get it. It's a good feeling to have, and excited for Jeffrey, and now hopefully it all calms down. He gets to have fun in his office, learn what it feels like to drive this car. It's his first time in this car, too, so there's going to be a little learning curve to see what he likes in the car. Hopefully it drives good right off the bat.
He's got 2 laps in it. No practice this weekend. I mean, and the only reason he got 2 laps is because he made it to the second round of qualifying yesterday, obviously. So he's starting on the pole. Here's our race analysis for today's event. First 2 stages, 25 laps apiece. We ended with a 63-lap run to the checkers. Pit road speed at 55 miles per hour. The 4 sets of tires, probably not a big deal because you're going to go 2 tires a lot today. Pit window, just over 40 laps. You will have to make 1 stop in the final stage to get it done on fuel. Onboard cameras, Nutrien Ag Solutions. That camera being carried by A.J. Allmendinger, the all-time wins leader for Colleague Racing, who's been so good at Superspeedway events, but A.J.'s never won at Daytona or Talladega. And the visor cam being carried by Jeb Burton, who won here a season ago driving for Matt Colleague. He rolls off in the 22nd position.
Yeah, those visor cams are very, very true to the eye angle and what the drivers go through for vibrations and what they see. But this is all about all the teamwork that you can find, and that's with your spotter, your crew chief, driver. Got a bunch of stuff going on here.
Some big names going to the back. Jeffrey Earnhardt on the pole, takes the inside lane. Here we go, 300 miles at Talladega.
Yeah, Kurt, you talked about establishing those teammates early. That's a good start for RCR. I got all 3 lined up right off the bat. See how it plays out.
Yeah, that's what the spotter up top was saying. You're going to see some of that teamwork, and the car that's the furthest back, Dylan, is the one that's the most responsible when you're in a team setting. So that's where you're trying to break apart the guys from behind. That way you can protect the guys up ahead.
Yeah, it gets to a point where you're trying to pull those teammates along, and working together is so important. But in the end, those guys that are running second and third are really the ones that are going to have to help Jeffrey, keep those runs at bay.
Woo! 54 just did all that by himself. How about that?
That was impressive. I think he had a fast car yesterday in qualifying also, and the bottom is preferred here right now. I feel like it's going to be, and maybe once tires wear a little bit, you'll see guys be able to move up off the bottom.
Yeah, that was a power move by Ty, just to drive up there, take the lead, and now you got all that 3 wide stacking up behind him. It's amazing on the different energy in the different lines and how it changes throughout the race.
3 wide. In fact, you get past that first 3 or 4 cars, and they are stacked up from bottom to top.
And this is when you finally get that inertia of you're at 100% speed, you got a tailwind down the back straightaway, and now some of this energy is popping up from the different lanes on who's tucked in tighter.
Here's an underlying storyline for today's race. It'll be a big headline late in the event. Dash for Cash. 4 drivers going for a bonus $100,000. They'll be highlighted in our pylon in purple. The best of the bunch right now, the rookie who won at Daytona, Austin Hill.
I love the Dash for Cash races. You know, there's something within the race that we're going to be watching constantly for these guys to go after. That big money, man. You do some crazy things, and already doing them right now at Talladega, but crazier things when you can go get $100 grand at the end.
For sure. When that pay window's open, like Clint Boyer says, you go after it, and that's why all the emotions were running high at Martinsville last couple weeks ago.
Hey, you know, Chevy has won 15 of the last 16 races at super speedways, and the big reason why, strength in numbers. Interesting to me, if you look at the front of the field, you have a Toyota in Ty Gibbs working with a Ford in Ryan Sieg. You got to reach out and find a partner, don't you?
Yeah, you see that from time to time with, you know, the smaller groups of manufacturers trying to figure out who you're going to play with when it gets going. And the Ford Toyota mix-up right now obviously is teamed up, knowing that they've got to do something to race all these Chevys.
Funny they're working together, because if you rewind to Las Vegas, they weren't too happy with each other.
I'm going to say Ryan didn't forget about Vegas.
Yeah, I'm sure he hasn't.
It's a unique split right now where it's a top and bottom. Usually it's groups trying to crowd each other one direction or the other.
Not a ton of side drafting. We'll see here Jeffrey kind of coming up to try and break those two apart on the outside.
See how they all swoop down to the bottom, and then you got that groove up top. The middle is so inviting. I just want to go drive in it right now.
I think it's Justin Allgaier back there, the first driver poking up through the middle to see if he can make something happen.
It's pretty wild, you know, your emotions, your adrenaline, and everything now is starting to settle, and you're starting to get a feel for your tire pressures building. But at the same time, you're always learning at plate races, right? I mean, it just feels like to me every time I go to a place, I know certain things, but then you have to find other things to teach yourself as you're drafting.
That's universal, not just pertaining to today's race. Is that right, Kurt, when you talk about the education process?
Yeah, I mean, of course, everywhere you go, you want to learn, but the plate racing just continues to evolve, and you see trends from guys, and you want to go and apply it.
It's intense early, Coleman.
Yeah, it is. You know, we've seen 3-wide battle there around lap 3. It really started hurting that bottom lane. Once that middle lane went away, that allowed Jeffrey Earnhardt in the 3 as a leader here on the bottom lane to get up there and really work that side draft. He doesn't have to worry too much about being passed. He has 2 teammates behind him. Something interesting to watch here, we see Justin Allgaier forcing the middle lane a lot. How much that affects the bottom lane. I expect that middle lane, it starts working, someone's got to suffer, it's going to be the bottom lane. So be interested to see what happens as Justin gets up front.
I think it's also interesting watching these guys work together, the 3 and the 21. I feel like the 21's wanting the 3 to do something different every now and then when they go through the tri-oval. Jeffrey's going up, and I feel the 21's pulling down. And as a driver, you always think you know what you want, and it's hard. So they're working together to figure out how to pull this bottom line right now, and it's getting better. It seems to form. It's forming, and they're starting to pull that line around the bottom.
6 laps in at Talladega, and Earnhardt started on the pole, and he's leading here at Talladega. NASCAR Xfinity Series racing for the ninth time, 2022. It's round 3 in the Dash for Cash. We're live at Talladega Superspeedway. Our coverage presented by Credible, and things are dicey at the front. Earnhardt still leads. He's got his wingmen with him, but boy, everybody else is trying to jump in and bust up that RCR freight train. Regan?
Well, Adam, right before we went to break, you guys were talking about how Austin Hill perhaps wanted the leader, Jeffrey Earnhardt, to do something different. Take a look at listen to the radio we picked up from spotter Mike Dillon to his driver about exactly what he wanted him to do.
21, they said stay in the shortest distance to the tri-oval right now. 2 said he'd like to stay bottom if we can. Up to you.
Stay with them, whatever they want to do.
Yeah, I felt like that was kind of what the 21 was trying to gain him just by pointing him down the tri-oval. I could see he was kept peeking, and they're doing a good job trying to work 2 lanes right here, the Chevys. And you always come to these speedway tracks, Kurt, and you know that Colleague's going to be a factor. They started working that middle lane that was open there and pulled all 3 of their cars up through there.
Yeah, that's what we were talking about a little bit right before that. But Vince, let's go to 21. Oh, we got a caution out of turn 2.
First caution of the day. It comes out just prior to the halfway point in our opening stage. Ryan Ellis having a problem.
What's the matter? Drive line. Into the pit box here.
It looks like a flat.
That's what it looks like. That.
Oh, there is something way back there. That's
Plenty of debris.
That's a tire, though, right? Yeah.
It had that look like a truck bar at first, but yeah, definitely flat. It could be an axle that he's talking about too that we don't know.
Yeah. Ryan had a career best finish earlier this year, 13th at Las Vegas. Let's see what happened here.
Yeah, it's going to be in the far right. I mean, it looks like just tire coming apart. Just hung on to it pretty nice.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell what that was that we were looking at, that debris, but evidently it was that tire carcass, right? I mean, that's what
I
you
feel like
guys
if it was
think?
driveline, he wouldn't be getting back around here like that. Maybe.
Let's check in on Noah Gregson.
I'm just loose right now. A little bit of splitter. Ready if you guys are. Well, I think we pit right here. Yeah, too far, I agree.
Wow.
Now, if you pit here, you should be, pretty close to being able to, I mean, you should be good to go to the end of stage 2. I'm not sure they're going to flip it, but the one thing you also do by pitting here is you have more fuel, so that if you pit at the end of the stage, you spend less time on the pit lane. Either way, interesting call from the 9 group. Jeffrey Earnhardt leading Austin Hill, Sheldon Creed, Landon Castle, and Ty Gibbs. NASCAR Xfinity Series racing is sponsored by PNC Bank. See how we can make a difference. And by Geico. Switch today and see all the ways you could save. With Kurt Busch, Austin Dillon, I'm Adam Alexander. We're halfway through the opening stage at Talladega. Pit road is open, and we have some takers. What is the strategy play here? Regan Smith.
Well, Adam, one of the cars that's going to pit right now is the 9 car of Noah Gragson. You heard on the radio right before we went to break, he said that race car is just a little bit too loose, a little bit too much splitter contact as well. The team feels like the splitter contact will fix itself. 4 tires for Noah. Vince.
Well, and the one of Sam Mayer came. He's getting 4 tires and gas as well. And also, interestingly enough, a chassis adjustment. Hearing a lot of drivers talk about their cars not handling to their liking. A little bit different than what we'd expect.
Myatt Snyder was running 10th, so he gave up a ton of track position to come down pit road. And a lot of varying strategies. Most of the guys that Regan and Vince talked about got 4 tires, but as you can see here, some got fuel only. Jeremy Clements said, give me 2 tires. The restart when we return to Central Alabama. Ready for the restart here at Talladega, and the top 9 cars stayed on track, and then we had a handful of guys come down pit road. And as we get the restart here, it's going to be from 23rd on back, the drivers that made a pit stop under this, our first caution of the day. Earnhardt is leading, and once again on this restart, he's going to select that inside lane with his teammate Austin Hill to his outside.
Yeah, I think it's interesting hearing some of these guys already talking about handling. You heard the 9 talking about splitter contact, and Kurt and I were discussing the tunnel bump on the backstretch.
Oh my, and qualifying for us in the Cup cars earlier, it was like we caught air and the rev chip went and almost tagged the chip. It was like, whoa, this place is definitely settled, and yet it's always the cars come back each year more and more aggressive on the bump stops.
The 2 and 21 got hooked up pretty quick on this restart. See if
but, you know, there's an alliance with RCR and Colleague, and Earnhardt behind him has got Landon Castle and A.J. Allmendinger. So, really, it's a win-win situation for him, I feel like, on this restart. You agree?
Well, it's a win-win situation for Chevrolet right now.
There you go.
When you're the guy out front, you want to keep that lead and keep the clean air on the nose at all costs.
Austin Hill trying to take control, drops down to that inside lane. What about that 21, Vince?
Well, they've been preaching patience to him, and Austin Hill saying that car's a little edgier than he'd like. And the last thing you want out here at these speeds is an edgy race car. But Hill has been comfortable for the most part. The one thing he did note when he was chasing that 21 prior to the earlier caution and pit stop, that 3 is fast.
Yes, sir. It's a good observation. I mean, anytime you can feel it from inside the car and know that somebody else is a little bit stronger than you, it gets in your head a little bit, but you got to just outsmart them and find the right combination.
Justin Allgaier told me, we won't qualify well, but we'll race well. He's 7th right now.
Tires, we softer construction or something. There's just something is making the cars like start back and forth a lot more than normal.
That's going to be interesting when we get old tires and it gets a little hotter here.
Yeah, that's not ideal when you're in there and you didn't get tires early, and if this goes green, you only got 10 to go right here, but you already see them moving and shaking out there, and handling becomes a play at Talladega. I like that. That's a good thing, right?
That's the biggest news we've heard so far in this race is Allgaier's confirmation of the tire feeling different. Noah Gragson was talking about how his splitter contact and everybody else is a little edgy. That means the front tires are turning too quick and the rear isn't quite hanging on. And everybody's elbows out right now, especially when you have clean air on the nose.
Yeah, you usually come here as trimmed out as you can. You know, Daytona, we think about handling there. When you come here, we're like, speed is everything. So it'll be interesting, even going in the Cup race. I'm starting to think about it now.
3 of the top 4 going for the bonus $100,000 in the dash for cash. Austin Hill leading. You got Castle in third. We're on board with A.J. Allmendinger, Nutrient Ag Solutions, bringing you this picture.
There you go. Using that bumper, pushing them along there.
Yeah, he did.
Lane is 2 rows back.
Gave him a huge push. Able to make move to the outside through the tri-oval.
Those colleague teammates, like you said in the past, they've done such a good job of figuring out how to work together and get their cars in position to win these races.
Closing on the end of our opening stage. 8 to go. They're mixing it up at the front. You miss nothing as we go Fox side by side from Talladega. Coming down to it in our opening stage, 5 to go at Talladega for the NASCAR Xfinity Series on Fox. Our coverage brought to you by Credible. And the driver that won at Daytona has taken control of this race. Austin Hill has now led 4 laps, feeling good out front. Got his teammate Sheldon Creed behind him. Allgaier is now third, and keep an eye on the 8 of Josh Berry. He came down pit road at lap 13, and he got some tires. Now a report on our pole sitter, Regan Smith.
Adam Jeffrey Earnhardt shuffled to the back as we went to break right there. No complaints about the race car. Loves his race car, actually. And in fact, the car is so good, he said he's struggling to have guys behind him actually get up to his bumper is the biggest problem. Got hung on the bottom when everybody went to the top. You see where he's at now, back in 21st place. He's going to have to work his way back through the pack.
It is such a chess match, isn't it?
Yeah, it always is here. I mean, I feel like you got to, like Kurt talks about, you're learning constantly throughout a run here in the draft.
Yeah, and you're learning who's going to roll with you and who's got some strength and who doesn't. But I'm with you, Adam. The Berry car right now, number 8 on the bottom. He's been just knifing his way back up to the front, and he is towing that inside lane.
What do you see, Coleman?
Hey, yeah, we just talked about Josh Berry going to the bottom, get the lead. He left his teammate to get down there. He brought Ty Gibbs with him. We've seen Ty with a fast car all night. I'm looking forward to seeing what Justin Allgaier does here. The 2 RCR guys in front of him, they're leaving that middle open. We all know Justin Allgaier's not afraid to split someone. He recognizes that they're a fast car. I could see him trying to shuffle these guys to the back with a teammate and Sam Mayer behind him.
3 to go in the stage, and here's what you're going to see. More and more aggression, because the one thing I heard a lot of in the garage yesterday, we want stage points.
Yeah, stage points are so key, and really the bonus point is what you want. Winning that stage, taking that into the playoffs for some of these guys up front who already have wins.
Now look at Sheldon Creed, who 15th in the standings coming in. He needs points and in position to get them here.
And those boys, they just keep leaving that middle open. It's like a full invite for somebody to throw it in there. Look at that. I mean, wow, it's just a huge middle section.
Yeah, you probably won't see that Sunday, will you?
Now, let's go to the 11 radio.
There he goes.
We ain't going to get stage points where we're at, and I do not want to get wrecked. Clear high, clear high, clear high. Just let these guys go behind you. Get out of here. I don't like what I'm seeing. We got to be smart right here. I do not want to get wrecked.
I think Coleman's been doing this a minute. He just talked about Justin Allgaier splitting that hole right there, and Kurt and I both were looking at it. It's too inviting, and it's an opportunity. You can't leave it open.
I think good advice there.
And there's a guy
Griffin
that's been in the Cup Series, Anthony Alfredo, coming up through the middle right now. He's
Alfredo,
doing a good job.
Yeah, and he is really, really good at this style of racing. Our Motorsports, the 23 car, they've been on a roll lately, and another one of those teams that really need points. He comes in, the first driver on the outside looking in for a playoff spot. 1 lap to go, first stage.
Kurt, I think that experience being in the Cup Series, knowing how big of a run you can get through the middle. I mean, that's a place that I look for late in these races, late in the stages to try and gain ground.
Yeah, in the middle, you can pull off the inside lane and you can pull off the outside. So it's like when one starts to die out, then boom, you can make a move and grab some more air. That's what this is. You're trying to draft with this invisible friend, but sometimes it's your enemy. It's called the draft. But right now, Barry is laying down the law. He's holding a nice line on the inside. I don't know if those guys are going to be able to make a run at him.
Might be difficult because he's got the tires. The guys behind him do not. And make a note here where the start-finish line is for later in the race. It's past the tri-oval, down towards turn 1. Here we go. Green and white checkered flag delivered to Josh Berry. He wins stage 1 at Talladega. Ty Gibbs was up there. So was Allmendinger, Landon Castle, and Austin Hill. Second stage win of the year for the driver out of Tennessee. Fox NASCAR, live at Talladega Superspeedway. It's the NASCAR Xfinity Series presented by Credible. Stage 1 in the books. Josh Berry gets the win. Made a bit of a strategy play when they came down at lap 13 and got tires. Which brings me to, what do you do here? You know what I mean? Because we know there's going to be some guys that will pit that didn't when we got that earlier caution. But for those that have already received service once, how do you handle the caution at the end of our first stage? Hey, don't forget tonight, USFL action continues as the Birmingham Stallions take on Kevin Sumlin's Houston Gamblers at 7 Eastern on FS1. We had the USFL on Fox earlier today prior to our NASCAR coverage from Talladega. Keeping it all right here in Alabama.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you do Talladega in the afternoon, shoot right back across the I-20 and take in the Stallions.
I know it's NASCAR
tonight.
night over there. I think a couple of my mechanics are headed out to go check out the game.
Am I right in saying your teammate Tyler Reddick's going to be there?
I think he is. Is he doing the coin toss possibly? I believe so.
He ain't going to be suiting up.
I think actually he's going to be playing cornerback, and Chase Briscoe's going to be a wide receiver is what I heard.
I hope he lights him up.
Oh.
They were way too cordial after that dirt finish last week. I don't want to get people all crossed up on which race we're talking about.
I mean, it's so easy to stir the pot with you two. Let's listen in on Sam Mayer, currently 11th.
Next time for the stage 2, let me know when we're coming to green checkers. I would have made more moves myself. We kind of lost track of laps. We'll do better there. Team 4, that's what stage 1's all about, learning.
It's unfortunate.
Yeah, you're supposed to have the spotter give you like a 5, 4, 3 lap count. And that way you know in your mind how aggressive you need to be on each lap as far as getting to that stage and getting the stage points or stage win.
Wasn't Mark Martin probably the worst situation in that? At one time he led the race, pulled down pit road.
Bristol.
Oh, yeah.
Unbelievable.
Bristol years and years ago.
Heartbreaker.
Led the whole thing and then, pulled in a lap too soon.
For his sake.
Come on, spotter.
I hope Mark's not watching today since you brought that up.
I bet he is. Mark's a loyal racer.
He is.
He's always watching. I love
light
Mark
you
Martin.
up, Dylan.
Pit road is open. A couple of guys stay out. Many of them, though, coming down to make it happen, Vince.
Well, Josh Berry in that 8 car, as you noted, came earlier on lap 13, got 4 tires, so it'll be gas only on this stop. The 21 of Austin Hill likes his car, pitting from 5th place, says especially in clean air, it's really good, has decent speed. And then you've got the 16 of A.J. Allmendinger pitting from the 3rd position. Back in, got a little loose late in the run, but they're not going to make any adjustments, Regan.
Same problem for A.J. Allmendinger's teammate Landon Castle. The back of that car a little bit light. Has to keep his hands calm. And the 54, Ty Gibbs, left side's only for that team. Very happy with that race car.
An interesting mix here. Most of the drivers that you see coming off a pit road that did not get tires are those that had made pit stops earlier. And there's Josh Berry. Hold serve on pit lane after winning the opening stage. Let's talk to him, Kurt.
Hey, Josh Berry, this is Kurt Busch, Austin Dillon, Adam Alexander in the Fox booth. You got us, bud?
Yeah, I got you guys.
Okay. So I thought you were like the short track guy now, right? And now here you are just knifing your way up and picking up a super speedway stage win. You've been talking with Boss Man Dale Jr. about drafting tips?
Yeah, actually, yeah. I spent some time in his bus before this race, just trying to squeeze as much knowledge out of him as I can, but everybody at Junior Motorsports, Hendrick Motorsports, builds really fast speedway cars. That makes it a lot easier. Just trying to learn as much as I can, man, every lap. You know, this is quite a new experience for me, but Mike Baumgartner, these guys are doing a great job.
Now, excellent work. We can tell with your confidence it's growing on the plate races, and that's how you got to do it. You always got to learn, and Dale Jr. is king here.
Dale Jr. giving knowledge to Josh Berry. He'll be doing it with us tomorrow in the Fox booth, joining this guy's favorite driver, Clint Boyer, and Mike Joy tomorrow afternoon on Fox. The field is all stacked up here at Talladega, getting ready for the restart to begin our second stage. And as you look at our running order, make a note, top 5 cars have not been on pit road since lap 13. And some of those guys are yet to take tires, including Brandon Brown, that restarts outside of the front row. The control car, Anthony Alfredo, picks the inside lane. Here we go with his second stint of the race.
Love it. Up through the gears. About third now and about fourth now. And now you're just watching in your mirror the whole dang time.
Yeah. You're liking it if you're the 68. Not so much the 23 right now.
Bold move from Josh Berry, though. I mean, again, he is not taking any prisoners today in that 8 car.
Some moves to get Anthony hooked up with him right there. He jumped to the middle. I think he's going to have a run down the back.
Somewhere Dale Jr. is smiling. That's an aggressive move by the 8. He's listening to the boss man. Junior Motorsports cars starting to circle to the front. We talk about Josh Berry inside lane, the 9 of Noah Gragson, and the youngster Sam Mayer behind him, Coleman.
Yeah, hey, Junior Motorsports executed that restart to perfection. You know, we've seen Josh Berry make the big move down from the top to the middle. He might suffer a little bit. The one that made the biggest progress, Noah Gragson. He was starting behind the 91 car. Some people it's not really used to being up there. He brought his teammate with him. Now he's established momentum. He's going to go to the front. Expect him to probably make a move here off of turn 2 and shuffle this 66 out. You see him backing up now.
Yeah, let's give some love to the 66. J.J. Yaley is towing the field at Talladega.
That's what I was saying. I was like, we got to get back up there. And then Noah, he's trying to bob and weave a little bit. And
JJ and the Carl Long Express out front there.
Nice. You got to love Talladega. It's that great equalizer when you're building cars or, you know, setting stuff up. It's like, man, it's anybody's game when you go to Talladega.
Austin Hill back in the mix, top 5. Second car outside lane, that white and blue Chevrolet, number 21.
No help here. One's coming to you. Sort of block the lane up a little.
So we're listening in on the 66 radio, and you know, this just turns into a game of numbers where the majority of the cars start lining up. That's where the energy is going to go and the speed is going to develop.
And it's been interesting seeing that big gap from top to bottom most of the day. The middle's trying to work, but it just hasn't formed like it usually would, I feel like.
That's been a bit puzzling.
23 looks good, Vince.
Boy, it certainly does. Anthony Alfredo, a young driver, but boy, what experience he has on the box, and crew chief Pat Tryson, and up on the roof with spotter Rick Corelli. And it's interesting, he described this racing exactly the way you guys in the booth described it earlier. High-speed chess. And Alfredo says some have the stomach for it and some don't. He said, count me among those that do. He's right where he wants to be.
Big opportunity day for the kid out of New England that has turned so many heads at all levels of NASCAR since coming here to race.
Plus, he's got dude wipes. If it really goes bad, I mean, he's covered.
I was wondering which of the two of you would mention it first. Austin wins the prize. From one young driver to another. Ty Gibbs back there mixing it up. Jeffrey Earnhardt in the 3 on board with Allmendinger. This happening just outside the top 15. We're 4 wide here, by the way.
I was going to say, this is a lot of cars in one little spot.
Yeah. Outside lane, Chandler Smith in the 26, making his debut. He's 19. Down low in the 48, Kaz Gralla.
And it's that point in the race where different strategies are kind of filtering through, and yet everybody's just trying to grab that track position and work their way up front.
It's the first time that 3 car had kind of a lot of dirty air on his nose, too. I saw him making quite a few adjustments in the brake. Wedge wrenches were busy.
Definitely means he was probably on the tight side, hanging out in the dirty air.
Yep. 66 starting to slide back. J.J. Yaley. Noah Gragson has taken control. Got his teammate behind him. And the other team car trying to work that low lane. Sam Mayer in the 1. Brandon Jones, haven't said his name today. The bright yellow number 19, won at Martinsville a couple of weeks ago. Second here last fall at Talladega.
Yeah, Brandon's working that middle lane. Got the 21 behind him. And Noah Gragson, I feel like I watch these Xfinity races, the Speedway races. He does a good job getting everybody formed and getting that Bass Pro Shop Chevy to the top. at these speedway races.
Yeah, and you got 2 Dale Jr. cars, the Junior Motorsports cars, the 9 and the 8. When you get 2 teammates that have fast cars hooked up and they want to stay on that top lane, man, that's going to be the place to be. And those bottom guys are going to be jockeying back and forth for a long while.
Make a note of this. We talk about Brandon Jones. They had some unapproved adjustments. He had to start in the rear. A couple of cars behind him. So did the 98 of Riley Herbst. They've got fast cars early. The fans love it. It's a spectacular day at Talladega. You're watching NASCAR on Fox. NASCAR Xfinity Series Racing is sponsored by Credit One Bank, the official credit card of NASCAR.
I'm coming in fast. First place, you coming in last. I'm hitting that gas. I'm hitting that.
Can't beat a little Talladega swagger before the race. And on track, we had it here. Woo-wee.
Yeah, we were like under yellow. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Yeah.
He's there. Oh, all right. Good work, boys. They straightened themselves out.
Is that dancing in the draft right there? Is that what that is?
That's just like,
Yeah.
Dancing's a little different.
A little tri-oval action.
I don't know, Coleman. 11 to go on the stage. It's a little early for me. What do you think from upstairs?
It's early. That caused the big shuffle. Looked like the top was going to get going, but now here, look, you see a couple Junior Motorsports cars on the bottom lane. Watch for this 9 car to make the aggressive move into turn 1 to the bottom to grab his one teammate. I thought it was going to get single file around the top. I expect the 9 car to be a mover here to the front. Here he goes.
Coleman, how did you know that? That was impressive.
He's been doing it a while. Hey.
Coleman, how often are you yelling at these guys? Since you don't have a connection to any driver, you've got to be second guessing what everybody's doing out there.
Yeah, I'm sitting here. Come on, I gotta make that move right there. So it's kind of cool to kind of see how other drivers play it. I know Joey and I on the Cup side, we review a lot of film for situations like this.
That was tight.
Austin Hill back to the front in that bottom lane. Noah Gregson getting aggressive. Outside belongs to Anthony Alfredo.
That was a heck of a save by Anthony. When the 9 comes up that fast, you're cutting the wheel to the right to try and give him room.
Yeah, watch the 1 car. Sam Mayer is pushing the heck out of the 9. They got a great draft going on, and Noah says, man, I'm going to go cash in on this. Whoop. Ooh. Great move by Alfredo.
That was dancing.
Great move by Alfredo in the 23. Here's on the visor cam.
Cover these guys out back.
Straight away, down into 3.
23 is clear out the front. Quarterback
left column from inside the car.
Clear out the front.
I feel like, though, right here, as you go on board with Jeb Burton, that just crushed his momentum because he was top 5, and now he's outside the top 10 back in 17th.
There you are. Exactly. That's what happens. As soon as you crack the throttle and somebody's got runs like the moves that we're doing there, boom.
Yeah, you're out there and you're like, yeah, we're making moves. We're going to the front. We're going to the front. I got to rebuild this whole line again. I got to try something different.
Yeah, now the leader is switched back down to the bottom side.
I tell you, Austin Hill in the Bennett Trucking Chevy has done a good job. Obviously, Daytona, you won it, but he's doing a good job controlling lines, and it's pretty fun to watch.
You know, he was not just good at Daytona where he won. We were drafting at Atlanta. He was second there. He's really got a feel in the draft. We're going side by side with Hill out front. Things getting aggressive at Talladega Superspeedway as we close on the end of stage 2. Junior Motorsports teammates at the front. Sam Mayer, Justin Allgaier.
There you go, like Coleman was saying. It's like Allgaier's going to throw in the middle. Whoop, whoop. Knifing it right on through.
You just get such a big run right there. When you pull out and you got cars on either side of you, it gives you a run and you can just get through there.
Yep, side drafting off both sides, and these boys are getting after it here because we got 5 to go for this stage.
Hey, look at that 18 car. Drew Dollar partnered up with his teammate Brandon Jones. This is only his 2nd start. Also ran Daytona, but he raced earlier today in the ARCA race, so he's got a little rhythm going today here at Talladega. 5 to go on the stage, Regan.
Adam, last stage, Landon Castle with a good finish in 4th place. This stage, a different story, though. He has dropped back, decided he wanted to go back to the back of the pack with his colleague racing teammates, A.J. Allmendinger, as well as Daniel Hemrick. Said the pack was getting too crazy for him right now. They didn't like what they were seeing there.
He's one of those drivers, you know, going for the dash for cash. So is A.J., currently 23rd, 24th on track. The other drivers going for the $100,000 today in the top 5. Austin Hill, Brandon Jones,
You see that black 3 car working its way back up to the front as well right now. It's good to see. Larry,
that big chassis adjustment.
Yeah, Larry making those adjustments. He's feeling pretty good about where his car's at now.
How about it, Coleman?
Yeah, we were seeing a chess match with the Junior Motorsports front row. They were going back and forth with the side draft. Sheldon Creed, Brett Moffitt jumped up to the top. It really hurt the second lane. Now they're having to get reorganized. As I'm finishing this race here, I'm already letting my drivers know 2 guys that stand out to me that are good pushers, the 19 and 54. All day they've been able to push people to the front. Unfortunately, once they get there, people realize they have fast cars and shuffle them out. It's going to be interesting to see how those Gibbs cars play out at the end of this race today.
Oh, and there goes one. That's Mason Massey in the 91. Big hit on the inside wall.
I believe there was another one spinning with him. Yep.
It's Brett Moffitt in the 02.
Oh, wow.
Others with damage, including Josh Berry.
Damn. That's
and Chandler Smith in the 26. Third caution of the day, 3 to go, second stage, and this could very well end stage 2.
We talked about earlier, some of those guys talking about the tires and being twitchy, and you come off of turn 4 there. To me, turn 2 at Talladega is usually the problem spot. If I get tight or have a handling issue, it's there, and that's where it happened, it looked like.
No, I agree with you. The sun is always baking turn 2 a bit more so, and the wind angle, it turns into a tailwind, so that's going to be the iffier corner right now. And man, it was like one car spun, and then it was just like a chain reaction of other situations unfolded. Pow. So that was the first hit. And so then Barry, oh, now I see. It looked like Yaley got twisted out to the right. That was a hard hit. It's crazy how the different trajectories switch up at these plate races on which angle you end up hitting at.
Hate it for Mason, who had a career best run earlier this year at his home track in Atlanta, Georgia.
You okay? I had a tire go down there.
That makes sense.
That's the 91
there for a second. Brett made a good save right there.
And how close was he to getting collected by Chandler? He doesn't.
Feet, barely.
Stays in the game.
And it makes sense on why it spun the way it did. And then now you see Yaley clip Barry. And then something must have happened with Chandler Smith not being able to get woed up.
Looks like Yaley's going to be able to continue.
See the drivers involved. Moffitt, Barry, Smith, Ellis, Yaley, and Massey. And Mason out of his car. You saw him there. Chandler Smith has been able to climb from the 26. 19-year-old. He also from Georgia, making his first ever start today for Sam Hunt Racing. He'll be back in that 26 next Saturday when we go to Dover, Delaware. And as always, an outstanding effort by the AMR safety team to arrive on the scene and take care of these drivers and all the damaged equipment.
Isn't it funny, Kurt? You come to these places and you try and find a place like, I feel comfortable right here in this zone. I got good people around me. It's all going to be okay. Poor Josh got caught up in that. Like, you felt like he was just racing there at the back, nothing crazy happening, and then tire goes down and you're part of an unfortunate event.
Yeah, it may have been a couple laps earlier where he made a move and ended up, losing momentum and getting drawn back into that area. But man, a flat tire on somebody, that's just bum luck.
Yep. It's going to be the end of the stage here. And here's what's amazing. Allgaier's going to win the stage. He's pitted today for fuel. He's not taken tires so far today. First stage win of the year. And he needs to get back on track. They've been in a bit of a slump lately. It's a legendary name in NASCAR. 4 generations of Earnhardt. Ralph to Dale, the Intimidator. You got Kerry, who also has put Bobby and Jeffrey behind the wheel. Jeffrey, of course, here today. Kelly Earnhardt Miller and Carson Elledge has done her fair share of racing. And then there's Dale Earnhardt Jr., the NASCAR Hall of Famer, who will join us tomorrow in the Fox booth for the Geico 500. Last win for Dale came right here at Talladega 22 years ago in that 3-car, and great to see the 3 back with an Earnhardt behind the wheel. This marks 5 decades of an Earnhardt driving the 3-car in the NASCAR Xfinity Series. That's pretty cool.
Very cool. That's what NASCAR is all about, family.
Stage is over. Pit road is open. Vince, they're heading your way.
Well, in the one of Sam Mayer, just his 3rd super speedway race, but you couldn't tell it. He has looked very smooth so far. Took 4 tires and gas on the very first pit stop. They're putting tires, you see there on the right side, as far as the 21 is concerned. Austin Hill built tight during that last run, so they wanted to change some air pressure, Regan.
Some good changes for Justin Allgaier. Last run, he was too loose with the back of that car when getting pushed. This run, very good. Minimal changes for that race car in the 54 of Ty Gibbs. Good with that race car. Doesn't want anything.
This could very well be the last time these drivers, put tires on the car, because likely one stop left for everybody, depending on how the cautions fall. And, you might want to go fuel only.
What do you say we key up Larry Mack and ask him about that 3-car? They had got up to 8th right there before the stage. Let's see how he's doing. Hey, Larry, it's Austin Dillon up in the booth, buddy. Looks like you got the car running a little better. He got back up to top 10 right there before into that stage.
Yeah, it's, got a little edgy there when we got back in the pack, and that's why we went ahead and decided to go with 4 tires just to give him a little stability.
Yeah, I saw you guys adding a little, it looked like wedge wrencher in the back of the car and making good adjustment, but he looks happier now and got up there in the top 10.
Yeah, we lowered the track bar a little bit right there. He said it's just a little bit edgy, late exit, but I'm about to jump off here. Austin Jeffrey screaming at me.
Thanks, Larry.
Hey, I'm trying to do my job. You do yours, okay?
Yeah, no
I think
doubt.
that's what Larry was saying there. So Larry was on the pit box when the late Dale Earnhardt won the Daytona 500 in 1998. This is the last time Dale won in his career. A couple of years later, fall of 2000, the incredible rally late. In 4 laps, he came from outside the top 15 to win the race. His 10th at Talladega Superspeedway. He's the all-time leader here. Final stage coming up in a moment.
Zayn is locked in a steel cage match against the Scottish Warrior Drew McIntyre. Plus, will Ronda Rousey or Charlotte Flair be the first to make their opponent say, I quit, in a special Beat the Clock challenge? An all-new edition of Friday Night SmackDown, live at 8 Eastern, 7 Central on Fox.
Looking forward to SmackDown next Friday night. We had a little SmackDown on pit road a minute ago.
Yeah, this is a little bit of action. I'm going to use this yellow arrow to kind of straighten out what happened here. And let's press send, guys, because this is the line that Brandon Brown was trying to take. Here we go. Whoops. No, wait, no. Oh, man.
I thought you were drawing Sonoma.
I thought it was
there,
just that
actually.
ECR power. You know what I mean?
That was like Charlie Clutch drop all there. Easy, buddy. He did get it straightened out. Let's listen in on the radio.
He works the telestrator. He has one-liners. He's NASCAR champion Kurt Busch.
All good. Embarrassing. I see the TV go to you, so I think you're good. Don't speed.
Oh,
no,
he spoke too soon.
We didn't see anything.
Hey, by the way, we talk about everything going on pit road. Brandon Jones, who had really done a nice job of getting himself back in the game after starting at the rear, penalized because he did not come to the pit lane single file when everybody made their pit stop. So he drops to the rear. All those positions that he gained, he's going to have to do it again. All right, so here we are with Kurt Busch, Austin Dillon, a couple of guys that have won the Daytona 500. I'm Adam Alexander. I'm just here to keep you guys honest throughout today's race at Talladega. Observations and thoughts as we get set for the final stage.
Pretty clean race so far for Talladega. No big incidents. I hope I'm not, foreshadowing too much.
You shouldn't have said that.
No, I've really enjoyed watching the way that the two lanes have been split, and it invites anybody to jump into the middle, but the middle hasn't generated that energy. But there's just been like one or two guys that are able to knife their way through and gain the track position. But now this is when everybody's done doing their research, and it's all about making sure you use the mirror and protect and block.
Here's what I'll say, though. 2 stages in, but we're not even halfway home. We got a long way to go. Front row for the restart, Austin Hill, Sam Mayer. Row 2, Ty Gibbs and Myatt Snyder. Final stage goes green now at Talladega.
The gloves are fixing to come off.
That's right, and to be fair with Brandon Brown, no harm, no foul. He's still in the game, no damage. So we'll be rooting for you, buddy. Get back up there.
The Brandon's going to have to work together here coming from the back.
Coleman mentioned that 54 being able to give big shoves, and you can see you got the 21 way out there late in the race. That's probably somebody you want to have behind you on a restart.
Yeah, anytime you can sense that somebody from behind has that energy to push it, you want to keep him with you.
54 is Ty Gibbs, Coach Joe Gibbs' grandson, running full-time in the Xfinity Series. For the first time in his career, has already won 3 times this season, the only repeat winner. And I like him a little bit today because I feel like he's put himself in a lot of different situations. As Kurt said earlier, he's learning what he needs to know for the latter stages of this race.
Yeah, each time in a plate race, there's plenty to learn and there's plenty to apply, and spotters too. The spotters learn, and they're out there each day going through whether it's a truck race or an ARCA race, and they're the ones giving you some good information that helps refresh everything as you show up. It's a team sport. You know, you got to have the strategy side, you got to have the pit crew side, you got draft, spotter, everything here at Talladega.
Yeah, I feel like the spotters are so important, each and every weekend. But when you get to Talladega, your spotter and your communication, your trust level has to be on 10. It has to be perfect every lap because, so much is going on. And if they can feel that momentum shift and give that information just a split second faster than the next guy, that could be getting you to the front.
Absolutely, and it helps you be more confident when you're driving the car. You can make moves and not have to necessarily check the mirror. You already have it done through the audio side with the spotter.
Here's a storyline for you. Colleague Racing has won 3 of the last 4 here, 6 of the last 10 when it comes to speedway races. Daytona, Talladega. 1 lap led today for A.J. Allmendinger, Daniel Hemrick, and Landon Castle. We'll see if they start to get more aggressive here in the final stage. Coleman?
Yeah, hey, we see about 7 cars single file here at the front. We see the two Collie cars trying to organize the second lane. If they can ever get, within a half car length, get that next group of 4 or 5 guys up to them, look for Justin Allgaier to try to establish himself, move up in front of them. Justin's the aggressor guy here. He could be the key to really make this second lane work and try to come in between the 21, the 2 up front. I look for here in the next couple of laps that second lane start working and Justin Allgaier to maybe jump up in front of it. That 7 car's got 4 tires for the first time this whole race too. He's probably really feeling good and aggressive right now.
A.J. Allmendinger quiet today, Vince. What's their story?
It's interesting you guys talking about not leading laps for the colleague team, but I talked with Bruce Schlicker and Frank Diney Jr., the spotter for A.J. Allmendinger, and they said it was more important for them to run together as a team today than to lead laps. They said, we're only worried about leading the last lap, and we feel like we got the best chance to do that if our cars stay together. So top of the order for them, keep together as a team, regardless of where they are. Regan?
Well, another one of the cars, Daniel Hemrick, some issues at the end of that last run, complaining the race car felt like it had a parachute, couldn't go anywhere. They had an extended pit stop to fix the nose of that race car. The team found 2 holes on the nose. Not sure where one of them came from. Felt like the other one came from pushing cars.
We'll see if he's better here connecting with his teammates, and we should pay off Daniel Hemrick. Really good in qualifying earlier today. He's running a Cup car tomorrow.
It's pretty wild. When you get a hole in the nose, you definitely can tell something has changed up front. It just kills those drag numbers. And like you said, you got a parachute feeling. So you got to get those holes fixed as fast as possible. And being able to see that is key too.
Yeah, a little bit more single file than we expected right now. That outside or the middle lane right now just cannot get formed up enough and create that energy and just start to try to side draft their way up. I mean, that's the only option guys in the back have, is to use that side draft from the middle lane and just keep picking one car at a time.
Listen to some of these names in the top 10. Jeb Burton, Riley Herbst, Jeremy Clements, Ryan Sieg. They're all following Austin Hill, who's out front with 54 laps to go in Talladega, Alabama. Just over 50 laps to go for the NASCAR Xfinity Series. Talladega Superspeedway. Our coverage on Fox, presented by Credible. And your leader is Austin Hill. He's led 24 laps today. He's really been in control.
I said it earlier. I mean, he's been impressive at the speedways. You brought up Atlanta. I'd already kind of forgot about that, but they've been at Truck and Chevrolet. He does a good job of controlling the lines. It's fast. Doing a good job out there.
Yeah, Ty Gibbs running P2, and then with Creed, RCR teammate of Austin Hill, that kind of locks Gibbs in right now to just, hey man, just ride. There's nothing you're really going to do, because if you make a move,
to the bottom here,
you know he ain't going with you.
Here's that visor cam.
I love it.
State water heaters providing this awesome view.
We're going to come with the 2 and the 21. It could be 1 lap later than our first target number, so we'll be finishing 69, leaving pit road, starting 70. Coming with the 2.
Starting to talk about green flag pit stops, Coleman.
Yeah, hey, we're probably within 8 to 10 laps of the pit window here. If I'm a spotter, we know these RCR guys have worked really well together, but if you look down at pit road, we look at pit stall number 3, pit stall number 4. You got the 3 car in pit stall 3, the 2 car in pit stall 4. The 2 cars ahead of the 3 on the racetrack. That's going to cause a little bit of issues for these crew guys coming to pit road. The 2's going to have to recognize that, hey, the 3's coming around me. We're going to have to stop short so we don't get blocked in to maximize our time on pit road.
Coleman, take us behind the scenes on the spotter stand when you're setting up and getting organized for a cycle of green flag pit stops.
Yeah, hey, we talked about how the radio communication there, he said 1 lap more than your target. We already have these pre-planned numbers as a manufacturer that when we're going to pit. Now, that lap just got added on. So all of the manufacturers, we're standing together. We're going to try to do it in as safe as a manner to let everyone else know that we're coming to pit road, but also we don't want to let the other manufacturers know too soon. Expect hands to start waving and communication on the radio start happening somewhere between turns 3 and 4.
Man, Coleman, I was feeling so good, and then you brought up the fact that the 3 is parked in front of the 2 right here on pit road. I hope that the guys are working together if they do hit pit road the same lap, because it's so hard getting to pit road, getting in your stall. Kurt, more wrecks happen on pit road sometimes at these speedway races than any other pit road we go to.
I love it. Like, Coleman, the way you explained all that, I'm glad the chaos is going on up there. I just need a 10-lap window of when I need to be ready to pit, and that's when, as a driver, you try to work your way to the bottom side of the racetrack. That way you can peel off whenever the call is made last second. But again, lots of wrecks are happening on these green flag pit stops because it catches a lot of guys by surprise, A. B, people will lock up brakes and when you're not supposed to, and you get a flat spot. And C, people are changing their game plan right in front of you, and you end up rear packing somebody when you didn't mean to.
Yeah, and I couldn't tell for sure, but I think that was Luke Lambert that was on the box, crew chief for Noah Gregson, talking to Larry McReynolds and managing this strategy and trying to put the plan in place.
It's so cool seeing Larry and Luke working together out there, Chevy teammates, trying to figure out how we're going to do this, how we're going to maximize getting to pit road, getting off pit road.
Busy.
And it's probably one of the first times we've really hit pit road at a speed right now today, what's going to happen. So sometimes you get those shocks bottomed out and you get lock up going into your pit stall. It's so easy to make a mistake.
46 to go. We anticipate green flag pit stops. Let's crank it up on Fox. Caution's out. Forget about the green flag pit stops, and there are a lot of people right now breathing a big sigh of relief, right? So you don't have to execute
I wanted to see that happen.
I mean, we did. I don't think they did.
I was all amped up and ready. It's like, oh, really? Debris. Well, that'll just kind of calm things down here for a little bit, and everybody now can get some fuel and adjustments tires if they need to at a calmer rate.
Yeah, Larry Mack can have a little ice cream on the box now.
You knew the debris was from a Chevy, and now we see that it Came off of the 8 car of Josh Berry. Andy Street calling the shots for Austin Hill.
Yeah, but hang on, now when you have these cautions and everybody hits pit road at the same time, this is when it's more congested and there's more opportunities to have trouble. Everybody's pitting at the same time.
We got over 30 cars on the lead lap. So to your point, I mean, this could get messy, and no free pass here. No free pass here because it would have been the 8 of Josh Berry, and he's the reason for the caution with that debris.
I know coming here in years past, pit crews kind of thought like, we just get through this race, but track position's so key, even at these speedway races now, that they got to have good pit stops. So give credit to the pit crew right here that puts their guy back out front, because it's much easier from out front.
We're going to go back green with over 40 laps to go. I mean, most were probably thinking fuel only if you pit under green. But under caution here, does somebody maybe think about putting tires on as hot as it is and knowing that handling has been somewhat of an issue? What do you think? Well, we're going to find out. Everybody coming down here. The window is open, Vince.
Well, I'd expect a lot of gas only here, including the 51 of Jeremy Clements. What a good run he's had after finishing top 10 at Martinsville. He's running 6th here, gas only for the 51. For the 21 as well, Austin Hill, the leader. Regan?
The 2 car, very happy with that race car. Just trying to stay patient, gas only for them. In the 54 of Ty Gibbs, that race car, very good as well.
Ty Gibbs had the #1 pit stall after he won the pole last week, and he gains his spot on the pit lane, jumping out in front of Austin Hill. After that, Creed, Gregson, and Hurst. We'll get the restart when we come back.
Do you like speed? Do you like surprises? You're gonna love this.
Trouble!
NASCAR is headed back to Talladega and returning to the booth, the Dega Dominator himself, Dale Earnhardt Jr.
Sounded like Jeffrey Earnhardt was voicing our promo for tomorrow on Fox. Can't wait to have Dale Jr. in the booth with Clint Boyer, Mike Joy. You see all the success that he had at both Daytona and Talladega, but here, not only 6 wins, which is good enough for a tie for second on the all-time list, but the 4 in a row. I mean, just outrageous that he did that here.
That's like crazy to think that you could win 4 straight at Talladega because of all the factors that go into that.
I was a rookie in 01, and we all knew we were racing for second, third with him and Michael Waltrip combo. The DEI cars were just flat out owning everybody at that time, and Dale Jr. executes all the time flawlessly here.
Dale Jr., a part of our pre-race coverage tomorrow as well. All starts 2 o'clock on FS1, on Fox at 2:30. Restart, 42 laps to go. Ty Gibbs in control from the bottom lane.
All right, Ty, how long you want to control this? Got a few guys back there that got other ideas. Clean restart for all these guys, and Noah's pushing, wanting to take that lead with Austin Hill.
You can tell the Chevys were allergic to Ty right there. They jumped up, got up fast.
Play-by-play man's brain freeze. The 54 and the 98 working together in the draft. The 2 monster cars, Ty Gibbs and Riley Herbst.
And you got 2 different manufacturers right there.
Yes.
Too. So you gotta find buddies in the buddy systems where you can.
Yeah, and they can't get rid of those guys. Their cars are fast, and they've been able to keep themselves up there all day.
I'll tell you who you can't get rid of, Austin Hill. It doesn't matter what his situation is. He always puts the 21 on point.
I agree with you. He's done an incredible job. And right now he's got Noah as a good pusher, but he's doing what he needs to do to lead this race and to put on the right blocks.
Let's go to Vince.
A.J. Allmendinger running 6th, and they're moving up to 5th now. They're happy about what their race car has done for them. They've got enough fuel to get to the end, everybody, with that last pit stop. But still, in case you got overtime laps, you always want to save. They're still having a little fun with it.
Saved like Iggy the pig wearing overalls. I thought Pork wore the overalls. Well, Iggy is his long-lost cousin. So Porky, I think, had a vest. I think Porky just had a vest. You might be right there.
You two care to analyze that?
I'm so glad they explained it. We don't need to talk about it. They explained everything. Hey, save fuel when you can.
Yeah, that's about what I get. They love to have fun on the radio, though. I think keeping it light's big at these speedways. Have fun while you're out there. Be aggressive. The college cars, you know, they figure out the ways to get to the front.
And they're trying to win $100,000 for a second consecutive race. AJ got the cash at Martinsville a couple of weeks ago. Both he and Landon Castle in the top 10 and trying to run down the big bonus in the dash for cash here at Talladega.
Well, those 2 monster cars kind of split up, and again, there's so many Chevys in all directions. Will they leave that middle open that we've seen so much of?
Hey, that 3 car back up in the mix. Jeffrey Earnhardt 7th in front of Jeb Burton.
I love it. You can see the mirror just up above. You know, check it out. You got the cars behind you to your outside, looking ahead. Got Allmendinger side draft. There's a lot going on there.
That was a heck of a save from the 54. 2 was giving a good shove there off of 2.
That last caution rudely interrupted our crank it up. Let's try it again with 39 to go.
still half off of you. 11 is trying third lane, looking at third lane. Got back in the middle. He's just trying to block 54. Now 11's going to the third lane.
There's a crash. Brandon Jones involved. Ty Gibbs, a pair of drivers from JGR. It's our 5th caution of the day, and it comes out with 37 laps to go. Ryan Ellis got a piece. So did David Starr. Wow, Daniel Hemrick with damage. It looked like maybe Dave, the dollar car did as well.
And the spotter just said the 11 was looking. No, he's going back in line. Nope, he's going 3 wide. Wonder if things developed from the 11.
Yeah, it seemed right in the middle of the pack there. You saw the smoke.
It's our first look at it. And,
yeah, you're right. Started up top, 11:54.
Yeah, to me, I mean, just with everybody pushing hard in that outside lane, everybody has to really be in sync. You got to be nose to nose, tail to tail, and be pushing. And if you get just off a little bit, you're going to hook somebody.
Yeah, it looked like to me that 54 had a little bit of a run there, and Hemrick was trying to side draft the middle lane and didn't realize the 54 was making a move and just too late getting back up. I'd like to see it again and just...
I'm curious about Ryan Sieg too. That's him in the 38, the pink and black car outside.
Yeah, he's giving Ty a good shove there. Yeah, I think that Ty was just kind of using that run that he got from Ryan. Then the 11 kind of came up and trying to keep that momentum.
Yeah, there's times when you get a run with the guy pushing from behind, and then you just got to still tuck back in line.
And it's hard to tell right there. Sieg could have got the 54 a little loose before that, and he might have just been trying to catch it and made the 11 feel like he had to make a move.
I agree with you. And we got some 11 audio on this. Let's go check out the 11 radio.
54 wrecked you, Brett. Just hooked you. You said the 38 hooked him. Yeah, I'm sure. Never his fault, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's all part of racing. That's what we're doing here. Restrictor plate racing. You get runs, and sometimes you got to just stomp on the brake pedal and get back in line.
I was just going to say, as we were watching and listening during the Crank It Up, I don't know where you flipped the switch, but it appeared to me the intensity level had really started to change, and then we have this. And Josh Williams, who had gone a lap down early in the race, had gotten his lap back, and look at this, he spins coming onto pit road.
A little brake trouble there or something.
Driving the
Weird
78
spot.
for B.J. McLeod. Under caution at Talladega. Austin Hill leading Noah Gragson, Sheldon Creed, Riley Herbston, A.J. Allmendinger. more looks now at what brought out the caution for the 5th time today.
Kurt and I are going to break this thing down for you. The 38's given a heck of a push to Ty Gibbs. He gets shoved up out of the groove. He's trying to keep himself in line right here, and I feel like he's trying to get back in line. He's got his hand out. He's actually looking back for Sieg during that wreck right there. I thought 11 actually moved up, but he didn't. He held his line. I think 54 just misjudged the room he had. He had his hand out the window as he's getting turned.
Now, what's the hand out the window for in that situation? What's he trying to tell him?
Check up, maybe. I need
I don't know that I've ever
or
seen
he's pissed off. He's shoving too hard.
At that speed in that situation, that's pretty remarkable, really.
No, that was a good eye that Austin caught him putting his hand out. But what he needed to do, Ty Gibbs, you're caught now. Just stay in that 3rd, 4th lane out there. You're not going to have a chance to get back in line. And what he was trying to do was usher his way back in line. Like, hey, man, it's like at the nightclub, you wanted to jump over that red velvet rope. No, buddy, you got to stay in line. And he was trying to get back there, and the hole was, and the momentum was closing up.
Yeah, it just happened so fast, and I bet if he's got his hand out the window, he's probably in the mirror right there, and then he sees that the 11, he doesn't get that the 11's right there in the front.
All 3 Joe Gibbs Racing cars involved for Ty Gibbs. You saw him on the hook going to the garage area. He is done for the day. First DNF of 2022 for him. Coleman? What do you have for us, Coleman?
Hey, Adam, one to go here. Just looking at the front row restart, the RCR guys, they don't look like they're doing the teammate restarts. Kind of interesting to me. I really expected to see the 21 of Austin Hill take the top, come down right in front of his teammate Sheldon Creed, try to log some laps here and try to establish the bottom lane for a little bit. But we're not going to see that. It's going to be interesting to see what transpires here as we go racing.
Well, Coleman, I kind of with you on that too. I don't know what they're going to do right here. I was kind of thinking that would be the best way to do it, get the 21 in front of the 2, but maybe we're thinking about blocking both lanes for a little bit. You got the 98 is going to line up 4th, but Jeffrey's in 6th, so I'm sure they're trying to figure out a way to get the 3 up there with them as well.
Xfinity fastest lap, and look who's at the top. Teammates Joey Gase and Shane Lee. That's pretty awesome. Over 192 miles an hour for that 35 car.
Yeah, what's cool about that, they're riding in the back, getting that big draft off of the pack up in front of them, and that just shows you how big the air is here, how much the draft and how important everything is. That's really neat to see that kind of stat from guys that are riding around mid to back pack.
Hey, Brandon Jones got banged up in that crash. He's a lap down. He was one of our Dash for Cash drivers. All the others right now restarting inside the top 10.
I think 21 might be choosing the bottom. He likes the pusher and Gregson there. He might feel like they can get out front and then he can get up to the 2 car also. Just trying a little different. But who knows what they're going to do right here,
I like what you're
Kurt.
thinking there, Austin. I
like that too.
See how it plays out. We got 33 to go.
There was the hand out the window.
Give it to me. Come on, let's go.
That's usually when you use the hand.
Yeah.
There they are. Still a long way to go. There's over 30 laps here. We think that this might be one of the final few restarts, but still plenty of action to go.
How about Brett Moffitt getting with it? That green car in the outside lane. Drafting help from Kaz Gralla, making it 3 wide.
They're trying back there to make the 3 wide work, but up front, there it is, Austin, just like you called it. I mean, RCR textbook.
Yeah, it was just the different version. You know, usually you see the guy starting the outside, pull down, but I feel like 21 just probably more confident in that he's going to take the lead on the bottom.
And then what it does is it ties all those Chevys together on the bottom.
Said it earlier, but I'll say it again. Chevy has won 15 of the last 16 super speedway races in the Xfinity Series. The only time they did not win when Austin Cindric won the season opener last year at Daytona. 3 of our Dash for Cash drivers in the top 6. Hill leading. Allmendinger and Castle in that mix as well. Myatt Snyder in the top 10.
Every time we check in with Jeb, it's like he's following the 3 car. I mean, what's going on here?
He's definitely been helping him, been a loyal partner to him most of this race. He knows that car's fast too, so
that's what happens
together.
Sometimes. You have that connection with somebody out on the track, and you just end up drafting with them really well all day and trying to put yourself in a good spot.
I'll be surprised here. You know, colleagues, if they get that second car clear, I feel like they're usually ones to be aggressive, to kind of pop the middle, get that lane running.
You know, throwback weekend is in a couple of weeks, but I feel like a Burton pushing in Earnhardt, it's a little bit of a throwback today, right?
Exactly.
Look at that. They're going to hang him in the middle.
Going to make some moves here. Some air on the nose. 27 went with him. Hopefully they can pull it off.
On the long way around up top.
Come on down a little.
No. Stalled out.
Yeah, the line just so far around when you get out there. You got to have a lot of help when you make that move.
And when the leader's running the low lane, that's where all the energy ends up. I mean, if the leader was running high, that might have helped draw him to him. But right now, Austin Hill's got it locked down on the bottom. Creed's following Gregson. Those boys are up to something, I can tell you.
Riley Herbst outside lane. That monster energy car, the 98, being pushed right now by Brett Moffitt.
Ryan Snyder took a wild ride at Daytona, and he's back up in there. He's fighting hard in 6th position right now, and man, that was a heck of a crash. So it's good to see him back up there fighting. He's done a good job in these speedways.
He's only got one top 10 this year. They need to make something happen. Big opportunity race for them today. And congratulations to the owner, Jordan Anderson. Got married on the off weekend last week to Larry's daughter.
Right.
That's
Larry's
awesome.
been busy.
28 to go at Talladega. Austin Hill out front. NASCAR Xfinity Series rolling through a Saturday afternoon at Talladega Superspeedway. Our coverage on Fox presented by incredible. Austin Hill qualified on the front row yesterday. He's led 47 laps, and he's out front right now. Let's get a word with Ty Gibbs. Vince?
Checked and released from the infield care center. Ty, what happened?
Yeah, I just got a big run by the 38, and I got kind of out of shape and came back down and then caught the 11, though. So just apologize to everybody involved. Just a sucky deal. We had a very fast Monster Energy Toyota GR Super, and I was proud of my guys. We struggled a little bit in Daytona, and we came back here, and we were fast. So I feel like we picked up a lot. It was a pretty good hit there, but I'm okay. So hopefully we can get a Super in victory lane.
Glad you're okay.
Thank you.
Yeah,
There was that hand.
Yeah, I mean, Ty said it pretty much exactly how it happened. He got a big run, got shoved out, just kind of trying to get back in, got lost, hooked the 11, and part of it. But, he called it how it was right there.
He's aggressive. We all know that, but that's only his second career DNF. Let's hear from Gregson.
Hey, check me what lap that restart was on. 21 did some pretty tricky tear down through 1 and 2 and down the back straight away that I can learn from, so I just got to rewatch it.
All right.
He's saying he I guess created space for Creed right there. Is that how
when he pushed Hill?
Okay.
Yep.
That, and he was trying to mark down what lap it was so that he can go back and watch video on it to learn. I mean, I do that all the time with my crew chief. I'll go, hey, put a mark down on that lap, and we'll go back and review afterwards. Like, what did you mean about lap, let's just call it 100? And I'll go, that's this moment here and here, and you really dissect it in detail.
We hear from Gregson there. Here's someone to keep an eye on, though. 23 to go. Justin Allgaier, when all these guys put it at lap 69, most got fuel only. In fact, everybody did, really with the exception of Justin Allgaier, who got 4 tires. We might be seeing that pay off right now. He's just been gradually working his way to the front.
He's the one kind of towing that second lane right now, getting it going, and you're starting to see the guys up front. They know it's coming.
Yeah, tires don't make a huge difference, but what they do is they just give you that extra comfort. It's almost like you just lace up your shoes a little bit tighter, and you can go a little bit more aggressive when your tires are better than somebody else at a plate race like this.
Tight.
These shoves are getting a little more aggressive, Kurt.
Yeah, they are. Everything starts happening, and gaps start closing, and then
helmets start getting tighter for some reason.
And then you forget to listen to your spotter.
It calmed down for about 5 laps after that last caution, but we're right back at it. And the 21 of Austin Hill managing the low lane in the high lane as he slides up in front of A.J. Allmendinger. Both drivers today going for a $100,000 bonus in the Dash for Cash.
Yeah, now this is where like a guy like Coleman, the spotter is really going to feed you some good information on the guys are staying with you. Just hold your middle to high lane. You don't have to necessarily go down low and block because all the energy right now is up top.
The 10 is shuffled 4 rows back, 5 rows back, bottom lane.
That was the 16 radio.
Is the 2, 3 rows back, now 2 rows.
I think it'd be good to hear the 21 because he's done a really good job here. Derek Neal and his spotter kind of spot him to hold the lead.
The only one clear.
It's the 21 radio when it plays over.
Half off. Remember what I talked about here, getting down to turn 1.
How do you feel about all this, Coleman?
Yeah, hey, we're getting ready to go through a big shuffle right here. Not a lot of teammates lined up with each other. We just had a 3rd lane start. That's going to really start bringing that bottom lane back up to them if they can get established quickly here. I kind of look for someone like Justin Allgaier, Riley Herbst somewhere around 3rd or 4th place. Possibly take a run to the bottom here real fast.
Coleman, when you're spotting the lead like that, what are you trying to give? What kind of information are you giving the 21 here? I mean, you're just waiting for that pack to build behind you, but what's your best advice right now for the 21?
Yeah, you're not looking at the moment as much as you're looking a half lap before. I'm looking to see how close people are into turn 3 and how big that run's going to be off turn 4. Right now they're at the start-finish line. I'm looking at the energy buildup behind A.J. Allmendinger, where Riley Herbst's going, because that's going to be my momentum off turn 2. You always try to be a half step ahead of everyone else.
Riley Herbst in the 98 drops down to that inside lane, getting a push from Sheldon Creed. 19 laps to go at Talladega. It's Hill, Allmendinger, Allgaier, Herbst, and Mayer, the top 5. We'll step aside one more time. Caution is out for the 6th time today here at Talladega. Matt Mills a problem. He's come to a stop. See the damage on the right front. And now a look back at what you saw when we were side by side.
I think he had a right front go down. See the damage up front already, but
I would agree with that evaluation. You don't just end up in the fence like that, but yeah.
I'm not sure how much damage. Free pass, though, to Brandon Jones. He's back on the lead lap. Big for him.
Hate it for those guys that got to repaint the wall.
Austin Hill is leading. He's led the most laps today. Second in that category, Jeffrey Earnhardt. His crew chief is our man, Larry McReynolds. This is the Larry Mack highlight reel.
I think we should dial up old Larry Mack. What do you guys say?
He's
getting in there, talking to these crew chiefs.
Game face is on.
Where are they running right now? We got 8th place right now for Jeffrey. Let's see how Larry's doing. Hey, Larry Mack, this is Austin Dillon, Kurt, and Adam in the booth. How's the blood pressure, buddy? Well, hey, Larry, you got me up here in the booth with Kurt at AA. How's the blood pressure?
You know, it's okay. Got still closing in on this thing here. We just get I know it's a classic deal. We just get some track positions. The 3 car is still bad fast, just like we can't get anybody to get up to the back of us like we need to.
Well, I tell you what, it's fun to watch you guys. I think he's gotten to make some moves here lately, and he's getting his way up through there. I think this Saturday could be as good as last Saturday, right, Larry?
Well, they're just completely different Saturdays. Let me just put it that way.
I understand. Well, congratulations, Marion, your daughter Kendall off last week with Jordan Anderson, and good luck for the rest of the race, man. We'll let you go and stay focused. Good luck to Jeffrey and everybody at the Forever Lawn team.
Well, I appreciate it. I always said when you're crew chief on the pit box this late in the race at Talladega, you just kind of long for the ride.
Hello, we got water pressure, you got oil pressure, Larry Mac's blood pressure, air pressure, lots of pressure here.
You know, I don't know how emotional he got when he walked Kendall down the aisle last Saturday, but if Earnhardt wins this thing, there will be plenty of emotion from Larry Mac.
I agree with that.
A lot of laps to go, 15 to go. It's getting ready to be push or be pushed. What do you feel like when it gets down to like the green, white checkers?
Man, that's just where you always pull the belts down tighter, and you got to make smart decisions, and you can't second guess them. You just got to roll and know.
You know, we continue to make the connections to Larry and RCR, but the biggest highlight, 1998, when he was on the pit box for Dale Earnhardt, who finally won the Daytona 500. And this greeting, with all of the crew members coming out to
Best
me.
all time.
Yeah, I was going to say definitely top 5 highlight in the history of NASCAR. And
I'll make an appearance there.
Who are the kids in the red hats?
That's pretty cool.
That's really neat. How much do you reflect back? How much do you remember about that?
Man, that was such a long time
I
ago.
know you were
but
young.
I think it's just cool to see the guys that are still here in our sport that are a part of it. And you know, Danny Lawrence for me is running our Xfinity shop, and you know, seeing those guys and how excited they are to have the 3-car back out there. Richie Gilmore yesterday pumped when they got the pole, and then you just tie it all together. It's a great story right now.
Let's go to Vince.
A.J. Allmendinger will currently, I guess, restart here on the front row and take his chances against the 21 of Austin Hill. You know, he's never won a super speedway race. I was talking with Frank Daney Jr., his spotter, before the race today, and he said he and A.J. had taken the white flag with the lead 3 times together as a driver-spotter combination and hadn't come back with the win yet. I know we're a long way from that white flag in the finish of this race, but keep that in mind, not to mention the $100,000 dash for cash that's on the line for A.J. They want this one in a bad way.
Kurt, is he saying you need to be second on the white flag?
Yeah, don't ask me. I've never won here either. At this place, you can be leading, you can be second, making a move. There's so many different ways to lose this race, but the best way to win it is to be in control of the race, leading laps. And that's what Austin Hill has been doing most of this afternoon.
Hey, let's get a word with the 9 radio of Noah Gragson. Last restart, they were up front. Right now, they're 13th.
I mean, the best thing we can do is stay committed to that 2, the 98, the guys that we've been working with, and just try to get lined up at whatever line we all end up in, and stay committed and try to work our way back up there. I mean, the thing we need is friends, you know? Yeah, 10-4.
Friends is key when you come to these speedways. Guys that trust you, you trust them, and know that, hey, we got to get there or we're not going to have a shot to win. We got to work together for the time being until we get up to the front.
How about Noah? I know you're in their pit area, Regan.
Yeah, I had him earlier, talking to Noah earlier today. I had a fun conversation. I said, how are you going to play the end of this race, Noah, when it gets down to it? He said, he told me to think about a rental kart go-kart track. That's exactly what he was going to do. So, listen, I've been to a few rental kart tracks in my day, and it's not pretty at the end of those things. We'll have to see what he does here.
That might be just a nice little quote called "Send it."
There you go.
It might just be sending him right on in there.
Here's another thought, and I don't want to oversell this, but Allgaier is restarting 3rd, so he'll be on row 2. He's got those tires, right, fresher tires than anybody. And Anthony Alfredo, who's restarting in the 7th position, so he's going to be up there in the top 10. He, too, got tires when they pitted at lap 69. We'll see if that pays any dividends for the stretch run. Coleman, what do you got? We're going to get the restart here with 12 to go.
Yeah, 12 laps to go. Looking at the scoring pylon, there's only one set of teammates in the top 10. They're starting on separate rows. My question to Austin and Kurt here, is it easier or harder going into this final restart knowing that you don't necessarily have to get a teammate clear? You're playing more one-on-one ball right here instead of 3-on-3. As a driver, do you want to be in this situation where you can make that aggressive move and not have to worry about your teammate, or would you rather have a teammate right there behind you and have to get him cleared?
It can work both ways. There's positive situations with teammates. There's negative situations. And then if you're individually like this is what you see more so in Xfinity. In Cup, you just have teammates everywhere, it seems like. And you have to make sure you stay in sync with your teammate, and you do it in a way where you don't have to second guess anything. They don't have to think and overthink it. They just roll with you. So it can work against you. It can work with you.
I think a teammate, is best case scenario. Your thought process of when you're out front, you don't have to worry about teammate is nice, but you still are having to go with someone at the end. Like, you're going to have to put that trust factor out there. Hey, I think Kurt's going to go with me right now, but he doesn't have to. There's no ties there.
Yep. And I would say that the plate races that we've won, you're going rogue. You're going by yourself, and that's something that Dale Jr. always did. You always think he's working with teammates, but he would do it independently most of the time.
Real quick before we go green, what do you have, Coleman?
Okay, so listening to that, you have to have some unsung heroes and unsung pushers here at the end of the race. Does that mean since we've all worked together today, if the 22's leading, we can count on you pushing us to the finish?
Is he talking to us right now? We've had a good day today,
the radio
but tomorrow's
just cut
a new
out.
day.
The radio just cut out. I didn't hear you, Coleman. What?
Austin Hill, hand out the window, motioning a push from Justin Allgaier. Will this be the final restart? 12 laps to go at Talladega.
Just like we were saying, all the gaps get closed up. Everybody's pushing harder. Everybody's grabbing gears firmer. This is getting towards the end right now. It's on.
The helmet's hitting the back of the seat a little bit more every time that bump gets a little bit harder out the back.
Absolutely. You got those first two rows kind of lunging ahead, and then now it brings everybody's draft right up to you, and this is when the inertia and everything kicks in. It's turn 3 with the tailwind down the back.
6 of the top 10 trying to win for the first time in their career. Could we see a new face in victory lane?
Look at how busy he is in there. Mir wheeling it, Mir wheeling it, Mir wheeling it. We don't even have the audio to listen into right now. This is busy time.
You see that push? We talked about the helmet hitting the back of the seat. There's a lot going on as you're watching the mirror.
Here comes that 7 car of Justin Allgaier in the bottom lane.
I tell you, those leaders, they're kind of like hung out there because everybody back there is 3 wide and the energy's not developing.
Jeb Burton, Dicey in the 27.
One car making a move through the middle here.
Sam Mayer in the 1, looking for his first career victory.
He's got the 16 just side draft in the corner there. He got clear.
And Sieg all the way at the top side, trying to bring the top groove with him. This is when it gets to be logjam city. You can't even push your foot any harder on the throttle pedal through the floorboard right now.
10 laps to go.
Too close to,
and there we go. 7th caution of the day. Brandon Brown, you mentioned Gralla. The 07 of Joe Graff Jr.
Drew Dollar.
Dollar again. Brandon Jones, who just got back on the lead lap, had damage from the earlier crash.
That's a shame there.
I'm good. Not sure that this car is.
Last time we were here, Brandon Brown won in dramatic fashion.
That's something new.
Looking like a snowplow. Shake it, Snyder. Or just slow down. We saw trucks tied together a couple weeks ago at Bristol.
You might need it later in this race. I just hold on to it.
That's what you call being dedicated to your draft partner, right?
Yeah.
I mean, just take it with you.
Stick with that guy's bumper.
Brandon with heavy damage there in the front.
And see, that wasn't even up towards the front. You know, this is back with Brandon Jones outside 3 wide. And he goes and changes lanes in a hurry.
In front of his teammate, that hole was not there.
Not there. Triggered all that.
You know, Jade Buford's been driving that 48 car for Big Machine, and they wanted to reevaluate things a little bit, so they put Kaz in here and next week, and I thought they had a real chance to win today, and those hopes are over now with this crash.
Yeah, that's a hard one right there to take too, because you don't see that coming. When they come from above across 2 lanes and you get right reared, you're driving wrong. Like, what's going on here? And then
there goes the bumper cover that was picked up by Myatt Snyder. It slid back up in front of him.
Yeah, the 48's feeling good about the position that he's in until he's turning right.
Tough situations. Like you said, you're just minding your own business on the bottom and you get hooked in the right rear. Game over.
I think Clements in the 51 did a pretty good job of avoiding any damage. The 6 of Ryan Vargas. And so much. There he goes.
Yeah.
Spoke too soon on that one. Nobody gets the free pass here. I think everybody that was a lap down's out of the race before this caution.
You're either lead lap or you're out.
Yeah. Thought Vargas was going to make it through. Instead, heavy damage on the left front.
Ooh, this is a real-time video. Just how quick things happen. It just gives you that true sense of speed and that true sense of
impact.
Wow.
Let's hear from Team 16.
Biggest thing is we just got too far out right there without help.
And they are making a point, everybody, to not, they ain't going with me.
Oh, 100%, 100%. We're just gonna have to fight for it, you know.
Kurt, you called that one, buddy.
Well, what ends up happening towards the latter part of these races, again, you want to be that control car like Austin Hill. You want to be leading the laps because everybody, like, I don't know, call it 8th to 15th, is just breaking groups apart and no energy gets developed.
Here are the drivers involved in the crash that brought out our 7th caution of the day. Vargas, Graff, Dollar, Jones, Snyder, Gralla, and Brown. Austin Hill's led the most laps today, 64 out front. And he'll be the top man when we restart, right around 5 laps to go. Somebody is trying to go 2-0 this season when it comes to super speedway racing. Season opener, Austin Hill able to win first race of his rookie campaign. Gets it done at Daytona, and as we said going to break, he's been the dominator here today at Talladega. Let's get a word from his crew chief. He's with Vince.
Well, Austin Hill's a winner at Daytona earlier this year. He can do it on the super speedway. Andy Street, what gives you the confidence that your driver can do it again right here?
Well, I tell you, he's told us from the get-go he didn't really like speedway racing, but he's proved to be a really good speedway racer. So he got the job done at Daytona, and we're really proud to have him behind our wheel to get our 21 Bennett Chevrolet in the winner's circle this afternoon.
Thanks, Andy.
Andy's such a good guy, and hey, belated happy birthday to Austin Hill, who turned 28 2 days ago.
That's awesome, and we love having Andy Street on the box in the Xfinity Series. He does a great job, and watching him work and develop over the years at RCR has been a lot to our company. So pumped right now, see what this 21 can do, if he can hold them off. We got some other cars right there in the top 10 too, so it's been a good day.
And you look at this, and this is what I was talking about on that last restart. I mean, Hill's only win is Daytona. Allgaier obviously has been so successful, although he's never won on a super speedway. Jeb won here last year, but look at the collection of drivers up there that have never won, and it's worth reminding everyone now, not only did both races last year see a guy go to victory lane for the first time in his career at Talladega, it's happened 6 times in our first 32 races at this place.
Whoops, I was just circling the lap sled right here. 65 for Austin Hill. He's the Daytona winner. I mean, like as crew chief just said, he's not thinking that he's got the swagger on a restrictor plate race. No, sir. Austin Hill has been laying the law this year in the Xfinity Series on the super speedways.
That's the most laps he's ever led in a race. And I feel like to that point, Kurt, he's had a little bit of everything thrown at him today, too. He's had a ton to manage.
And then just blending with a new team and winning right out of the box. And then you have your spotter that you have to mesh and gel with and find that groove. Sometimes it takes a while, and other times it clicks right away, and you have that pattern built.
Coleman, what do you have for us?
Yeah, looking at this restart here. Austin Hill took the bottom, same thing as we seen last time. He got a really good launch last time, but now he has a different pusher. He has Jeb Burton. We haven't really seen him up front today. While that allowed 2 JRM cars to start pushing this top lane, along with the 16 of A.J. Allmendinger. It's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. If the 21 gets cleared off of 2, I'd expect him to probably start fading up and grabbing that top lane pretty quick.
Yeah, I mean, that top lane is stout with Allgaier on the front row, getting the shove, as Coleman said, from his teammate Sam Mayer, and right behind them, A.J. Allmendinger. That's a nice combo up there.
It is. It's a lot. And that's some strong cars on the outside lane here. But our Motorsports, Jeff Burton, he's a winner here. He knows what he's doing too. And I like the shortest lane from Austin Hill. It's hard to trust those teammates, splitting them up. You'd like to do that, but the outside has not really been, I think, great for the guys starting on the outside row. What do you think?
Again, it's a matter of everybody in their lane doing the proper job of the contact with the rear bumper. It's not just going up there and just slamming the guy. You got to find the right brake, like just touching the brake a little bit to get there and keep the cars connected as long as you can, but don't stay connected too long, because NASCAR will frown upon that, and it can possibly black flag you for tandem drafting.
I thought I saw some debris, and there it was. So we've added a lap. We go from 5 to go on the restart to what will be 4 remaining here.
You know, and getting back to that tandem drafting, it's frowned upon, and it's a judgment call for NASCAR. And it's like in any sport. It's almost like, you know, as football's thrown to a receiver, was it defensive pass interference? You know, or was it somebody driving through the lane and getting a foul called on him or not? You know, again, it's contact, but it's that finesse and finding the right rhythm so that the call isn't called on you.
And it's not been the easiest, it feels like, today for guys to get tandem and really like drive away. I haven't seen a lot of it, but I mean, you see it on these restarts. You guys get hooked up and those first 2 get going, and it's kind of the race to who the third car is to get back there and give them that shove.
Yep, and if they're complacent enough just to hang out there for that lap or 2 to get that speed and inertia built up.
Yeah, I mean, we talk about the rule of no locking bumpers. It's against the law, if you will, in the NASCAR Xfinity Series. That's important to point out, as you guys have at this stage of the race. The other thing is, if you don't know, that double yellow line out of bounds.
That's a rule.
If you go down there and advance your position, then you will be penalized, and NASCAR considers going down there having both left side tires inside of that lower yellow line. That's a no-no, and something else we'll keep an eye on here should someone try and advance their position down low.
The easiest way for fans watching at home, treat that double yellow line like it's a wall. I've been black flagged for going below it. I've been not black flagged, and different calls when you shove somebody below that. Just treat that double yellow like it's a wall, and that keeps you out of trouble as a driver.
Out of bounds.
Going to be 4 to go. Front row, Austin Hill, Justin Allgaier.
The wick is about to be turned up, Adam.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you know, there's things that happen in a football, baseball, or basketball game, first quarter, second quarter. This is fourth quarter, last couple minutes.
Fans about to get their money's worth at Talladega.
This is when you go in all the tricks in your bag, right, Dylan?
Yeah. They're all pulled out already.
Green, green, green.
Good push in that outside lane. Sam Mayer on his teammate, Justin Allgaier.
The gap behind the 1 to the 16, going back to get a push from the 2.
Got to be careful locking bumpers up there in that high lane.
That's what I was telling you, but everybody's pushing and dragging the brake now. No,
Sam Mayer out of shape. He collects Austin Hill.
Wrecking behind you.
Wow. Guy that dominated all day is in a wreck with less than 5 to go.
And that's where you see, you know, Talladega, there's never a great place to be sometimes.
Wow. That was all that energy in the outside lane and everybody just getting antsy. And
I love this place.
Shucks out of there and clips the guy on the bottom.
Sam Mayer had been on a great run, and Austin Hill was trying to win the $100,000. Here's what happened.
Second car in line, and then
boop, getting a shove from AJ there, and just kept getting squirrelier and squirrelier.
And that's where the spotter was saying, hey, there was a gap behind you. Here comes the group. All right. Well, now you got to still know what to do with it. And here's Allmendinger.
Broke up. You should get a run right here. You should get a run. You should get a run here. Go. The 2 will go with you. The 2 will go with you.
I think he was off of him, but it was still just the inertia of pushing the guy. And that's how sensitive these cars are. You don't see wrecks in the corner very much anymore at plate racing. You see it on the straightaways because the cars are just unstable down the straightaways. A couple of hard hits here.
Let's ride now with Jeb Burton.
One by 98. Push. Here comes the 98 quarterback. 7-1. 7 to clear and hold.
It's like, okay, I'll take it.
You're helpless on the pit box.
Nothing you can do there. You've run good all day. And on top of that, that was a fast race car. I'm sure it's probably his Daytona car.
It was.
So you hate to see it when you got a hot rod like that.
And it wasn't like he did anything wrong on that restart. It was just the quantity of cars on the outside that created the energy to start pushing each other.
Those 2 junior cars did a good job firing off right there. Got that lane going. And then AJ gave a big shove down the back.
And now you look at who's won 2. Justin Allgaier, AJ Allmendinger. They've combined for 27 wins.
Wow.
But neither driver has won on a super speedway, Daytona or Talladega. You take it another layer.
It's crazy to think of that. I feel like it's nuts. I've seen these guys up there so many times. At these Xfinity Speedway races.
Allgaier's the all-time leader at JRM. They're great at Daytona, Talladega, right? He's the all-time leader there.
They combined for 5 runner-up positions at these speedways together.
Yeah, it's amazing, these 2.
Well, the odds are stacking up in their favor.
This is true.
Kind of feels
but
like
I don't know.
Games out.
How about the guys that haven't won? You know what I mean? Those are the guys that have been collecting lately. You got Sheldon Creed in 3rd right now.
Hey, he desperately needs a good run.
Very true.
Sheldon Creed comes in below the cut line. A win today puts him in the playoffs, and the stress is gone. And speaking of stress, let's give you the highlights of today's race to this point as we anticipate overtime. Ending stage 2. That's the 91 of Mason Massey that got out of shape. A number of drivers taken out there. Chandler Smith among them. Here's your moment on pit road.
That's Kurt's donut.
Pit road's a dangerous place. Oh, brake lock up there for 78. And here's Gibbs trying to get back in line. Hole closed.
Toyota has not won on a super speedway since Elliott Sadler won here in 2014. And Gibbs had their cars banged up there.
Hook to left. Not clear.
That was lane change city. It didn't turn out very good. Bunch of cars piled up in that one. And then it just leads to chess games being played on restarts.
Big run coming to the end of this.
Push it, push it, push it. And there's too much push. Or he just didn't hang on to it. It's tough either way. And it collects Austin Hill. The guys who dominated all day, most laps led, won at Daytona, and will not win today. Great chance at backing up that win at Daytona and cashing in for the Dasher cash, but not today. Lady Luck was not on his side.
Let's go to Vince.
Bruce Schlicker is the crew chief for A.J. Allmendinger, going to restart here on the front row. A.J. said a few minutes ago on the radio, I'm tapped out. So do you have enough to finish the job and win this race?
Well, sometimes you don't have to be the fastest car. You just need a little bit of luck, need some teamwork. We got our teammate, a row back, a couple positions. They start fanning out. He ends up behind us. Anything can happen here. So survive to the white flag and see what happens.
Thanks, Bruce.
You talk about A.J. Allmendinger in the 16. I mean, what about his teammate Landon Castle restarting in the top 5? Going over to Colleague this year was his big opportunity, a chance to cash in today. There you see the 10 car as we look back at what's happened in our race summary. 22 lead changes, 14 different drivers have been out front. Still 25 cars on the lead lap as we finish up our 8th caution and get set for overtime at Talladega. A 2-lap shootout. If the leader takes the white, the next flag ends it. If the caution comes out before we get back to the white flag, we will re-rack them and do it again. And by the way, we've done overtime 3 times this year, and each of those times we've had to do it multiple attempts. So we'll see if that pans out again here today. Coleman?
I really like the lane choice that Justin Allgaier did here, lining up in front of Sheldon Creed. I think the way this restart lines up right here, there's a great opportunity for Justin to get cleared into turn 1. Going into a green-white checkered here, the biggest thing he's got to focus on, don't get too far out in front. You got a guy in A.J. Allmendinger, Sheldon Creed, not afraid to make the big move. I expect Justin to probably get cleared into turn 1, and at that point, it's managing your gap, keeping them within your bubble.
We're all set for overtime. It doesn't get any better than this at Talladega Superspeedway. The pace car is in. Here comes overtime start number 1, sponsored by Credit One Bank.
Here we go. This is all about how you finesse, going through the gears, riding the brake a little bit, and keeping that guy attached to your rear bumper. Here we go. Look at them locked together, both 2 rows.
Right now, who's the third lane that's going to get there first?
They look equal back there, don't they?
The bottom's starting to get a run. The 98's going to have a run to choose to what he wants to do with it.
Yep, Riley changed lanes.
Riley Herbst, the 98. Landon Castle coming up through the middle in that blue number 10.
And Creed got shucked all the way to the back. He's the biggest loser on this one.
AJ is the leader, once again coming to the white flag.
A.J. Allmendinger jumps out front, and there's a crash. Caution is out, and we'll do it all over again. Cesar Baccarella in the 45. The 2 is Sheldon Creed.
That was a tough hit there, both cars.
And that car right there was basically running second all day today. Who's paying the bills at RCR right now? They're just not happy about this outcome. Ouch.
That was a hard hit, though, going into 3 here.
I mean, it's 4 wide, and he didn't quite probably know he was 4 wide. And then
47 into the 45, yep. Oh, wow. Oof. That's a lick.
Yeah, when the inertia raises the rear of the car up like that, those are hard hits. And again, he was minding his own business and gets clipped from the outside. But that's how these restarts are. Everybody's just pushing, ripping, gouging, and doesn't care. It's just the plate racing product.
Things change in a hurry here.
At 47 is Greg Alding. Look at Shane Lee in the 53 easing up through there. attrition becoming such a big factor. Going to be some names probably sneak into the top 10 we didn't anticipate would be there today.
AJ once again very close to getting to that white flag.
He said he was tapped out. But yeah, that was a 4 wide, and he didn't know.
45 needed to give up some room there. He's just trying to catch some draft out front. And there's 3 cars underneath you.
Well, the crew chief said that Dinger said he was tapped out. He's got to go find more energy.
Get out right here.
Yeah,
that was a violent hit. Shows how safe that these cars are, and you know, they've developed them a long time. Like you said, Adam, we needed a good run for that team today, and unfortunate it didn't play out.
Yeah, I was surprised in doing the research that they were outside a playoff position coming here to Talladega. You know, you look at AJ Allmendinger as you see Cesar Baccarella making his way to the ambulance, and we talk about the fact that he's been unable to win on a super speedway. It's really interesting when you look at Colleague. They've got 15 wins all time, but AJ is the only driver to win somewhere other than a super speedway. All of their other victories have come at Daytona and in Talladega. So we're going to do our second overtime restart. And we appreciate the folks hanging out in our Charlotte studios all day long, watching the action with us. Shannon, what's up?
Well, we're having as much fun as you guys are out there, and the fans getting ready to watch the end of this race. These guys want to talk about the 2 up front, though, right? We'll start with you. Go ahead.
Yeah, hard to beat green-white checkered finishes, and I like AJ Allmendinger. He's been runner-up in the last 2 super speedway races, or 2 of the last 3. I like the position he's in, Michael. Who are you looking at?
A couple of guys, Justin Allgaier, because I said he needed to turn his season around, and he's in a great spot to do that. And Anthony Alfredo. We talked about the old Fredo having a chance to get going. What happened to him? Landon Castle's up there. I mean, I've gotten so many people that I've watched today. Landon Castle, final answer.
You heard Kurt Busch earlier today say that he thinks the guys up front, that's where you want to be on that last lap. So, of course, those are the 2 guys. Let's spin the wheel, why don't we? Adam, I know that you're familiar with our studio here and our roulette wheel. Dega, because as Larry Mack says, you can throw all the names in a bucket and pick one out, and that's who's going to win. So we're going to spin the wheel.
Justin Allgaier.
Yeah, Joker.
Oh,
that means you get to pick whoever you want.
Okay.
But you already told us.
We already picked him.
You did.
Isn't that just fitting for Talladega? One of these jokers is going to pull it off.
Well, speaking of Larry Mack, you got Jeffrey Earnhardt, who's running 10th right now. So, I mean, anything could happen in these last couple laps. What do you think, Adam?
Well, I agree with you. It's always unpredictable, Shannon. We know this when we come to a place like Talladega Superspeedway. And I'm not sure that we're done seeing the cautions just yet, right? Because even though the number of drivers up there in that lead draft continues to decrease with all these crashes, the aggression level continues to go up as well.
Yeah, green-white checkers, you see red. I mean, you're going for all you've got right here, and you hate losing any kind of position because you know it's coming down to the end.
It's just hammer down and ask questions later. And that's the unfortunate part of how these plate races are turning out. And yeah, the more opportunities for these restarts, the more cars that we're wrecking. It's tough when you're trying to just gain points and get the heck out of here. And it's tough when you're trying to win it and block.
I have nothing on the line. And every time we get to this stage of one of these races, I start getting the butterflies. I'm sure the anxiety is up on the pit lane as well, Vince.
With Jason Burdett, he's the crew chief for Justin Allgaier. The first one didn't seem like it worked out. Maybe it did for you in the long run. What do you think about this restart? What do you need to work differently?
Yeah, you know, I mean, I think Justin's done a great job getting us up front, getting us in a position here, you know, to have an opportunity at this. Hendrick engines have been strong all day. Everything from Team Chevy and Hellman's, Unilever, Brandt, everybody that's helped us get here. It's been a great day. We'll see what happens. You know, we get a good push here from the 38. You know, maybe we can clear that 16, and there's no telling what's going to happen in the next 2 laps.
Adam?
Jason's kids, I saw them in the garage. They're on spring break, so he's got his family here. Justin has his family here. There would be a nice photo op if that 7 car was able to pull into victory lane. AJ says, forget about all that. I want the trophy. Here's 16 radio.
So it's kind kind of up to you right there. The 38's been a good pusher all day. I just don't know that if he would be over-aggressive and cause one, you know what I mean? Well, let's be honest. They're all going to be over-aggressive to try to cause one. Well, it's my job to at least fill you in on that, right?
Hey, I kind of agree with Frank right there. That 38, he's got a strong car, Ryan Sieg, and he's been able to push guys where he wants them. But, you know, AJ said it. Everybody's going to be pushing here. He chose the bottom, so we'll see.
You know, Sieg is from Tucker, Georgia. And this is not their home racetrack, but the shop is only a couple of hours from Talladega. So this would be enormous for them to be able to win. And he's got 2 runner-ups in his career, one of them coming at Talladega, so we know he's quite capable. Vince?
Yeah, and he finished 5th here last year. You know, it was interesting before qualifying. I was talking with his crew chief, Kevin Cowboy Starlin, and I said, what do you got? And he said, I think we got about a 10th place car, and then he winked. And I said, I'm not buying that. And he said, if we can stay till the end, I think we'll have a shot. And, well, it's worked out just right for him so far.
Yep, here they are.
One thing also right here, Jeff Burton was a Colleague teammate last year. So you got Jeb in between the sandwich of Colleague. Coleman, what do you think about that?
Yeah, so far he hasn't folded under pressure. There's been 2 restarts where he's had to give good pushes, and he's delivered. The guy I want to look at's outside of row 3, Noah Gragson. In my opinion, the best pusher on a restart in the series. So it's going to be interesting to see the role that he plays. The 3rd car seems to be playing the ticket here, so maybe look for this outside lane to take off turn 2, and it may be all because of that 9 car.
How about the fact that all 3 cars from our motorsports are restarting inside the top 10? This could be a red letter date for that organization. Talking about the 27 of Jeff Burton, the 23 of Anthony Alfredo, and the 02 of Brett Moffitt.
Yeah, our guy Fast Pasta in the 23 Dude Wipes. We'll see how he goes here.
Fast Pasta.
He used to drive for you guys a couple of years ago.
That's right.
Part-time schedule at RCR. There he is, Anthony Alfredo.
Alfredo's got Pat Trison on the box. Rick Corelli as a spotter. I worked with both those guys. And actually, Alfredo asked me before the season started, what do you think of this lineup? And I said, buddy, you're going to win. Just go and execute.
There's Larry Mack. Got that 3 car in the top 10 here at the end.
He looked a little more stressed than he's supposed to be looking.
I'm a little nervous right here. I can't wait to see what happens, man.
Overtime restart number 2.
Numero dos.
As you look at the 3 of Jeffrey Earnhardt coming from the 9th position. Front row, Allmendinger and Allgaier.
This where you don't care, right, Dylan? You're just hammered down, but that outside groove didn't connect.
Those 3 are together and tight. Sieg did not get the jump.
Jeb Burton with a great push on A.J. Allmendinger. 16 jumps out front. Just don't get too far out front.
Yep, because here comes Allgaier.
AJ had a shot there to probably block that run, but he's sticking with his help right there in the 27. He's
It
been
is
loyal
so
there.
tough to know how to jump out and make a block, because then you're going to leave the bottom lane. But Allgaier with the run on the top side. Alfredo looking to try to make a charge from the back.
Allgaier's jumped way out there.
He's getting too far out. These boys got plenty of time to reel him in, but they're just not lined up.
Caution's out.
Caution out. Oh, that just kind of just threw everything out the window again.
I think what happened is Jeremy Clements got stalled out right as we were taking the green flag, and so he never got going. And NASCAR had to throw the caution.
Are we getting to that point where fuel?
You know, I wondered that.
The last pit stop?
My only thought on that, Kurt, is we've just had so many caution laps, you know?
Okay.
What do you think, Regan? Are we okay on fuel?
Adam, I got to imagine when the caution laps that potentially we are. I can tell you, though, every crew chief on my radio just jumped on and said, save, save, save.
There you go.
So they're certainly thinking about it. And don't forget also, it's not necessarily having enough fuel, but it's enough fuel to get into the pickup for these restarts. You got to make sure when you're up on the banking that you can fill up the pickup in these cars.
And you listen to the silence, right? You're doing everything you can to save.
Off.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you kick it in neutral, shut the ignition off, and you're coasting as much as you can. But you can only do so much as a driver with so many caution laps at the end.
You know, Justin, he stayed on pit road a little bit longer because he took 4 tires. So if anybody should be comfortable fuel-wise, it's
Alfredo, too.
Yeah.
Same situation for Anthony Alfredo.
Well, let's check in with America's crew chief here. and ask Larry Mack how his fuel situation is. Hey, Larry Mack, up here in the booth, how's your fuel situation with that 3 car?
Yeah, I mean, I think we're okay. He's been saving every single caution ever since we last pitted under that caution there, you know, when we were about to head for green. So we just keep hammering on him to save all he can on the caution. He told me, look, I've been saving a lot. So you know what? We're here for one thing and one thing only. That's try to win this race, and we are not pitting. I can promise you that.
Well, we love to hear it. Keep digging. You guys have got him upside there at 8th place right now. Everything goes right here. Might see you in victory lane later, Larry.
Yeah, it's been a vertical mountain trying to finish the track position. We just never get anybody behind us that can help us, it seems like.
And what Larry's talking about there, I mean, it's the first time, you know, Jeffrey's up there in a fast car, and just guys know that, and sometimes they won't work with you because they know if you get to the front, it's going to be hard to beat you.
And you see in our pylon the number of laps since these drivers were last on pit road. The window we thought was somewhere in the mid-40s, and we've gone over 50. But as we said, so many laps under caution. I will say this, though. This race was scheduled to go 113 laps. Right now, we're going to go at least 124 with all the caution laps we've added with what will be our 3rd overtime coming up.
And what you just heard there, and getting back to how they've gone this far on fuel, is guys will shut the car off just like that and cruise with the car in neutral with the ignition off. That's how you save fuel, and you just can't lose track of the car in front of you with too much of a gap, because then you lose. NASCAR might call you for not keeping pace with the pace car.
And you know, you see guys going on the flat right there to keep fuel in the pickup. You get on that banking, it goes all to one side, and it just doesn't get all the fuel in it. So they're getting down on the flat, trying to save as much fuel as possible also.
Did you say earlier, Austin, that this has been a clean race? This is our 10th caution. Here's what's been happening late in the race. This was with 10 laps to go.
That was probably the chain reaction that got it going.
That was 4 remaining. Then we go to overtime.
Hard.
2 and a 45, Baccarella and Creed. And then, of course, the most recent caution coming out when Jeremy Clements stalled. That's mowing the grass right there.
Sure is. Those dandelions didn't stand a chance.
You need to bring the blower in now to make sure you blow off the pavement, right? Finish the job.
Well, cautions breed cautions. And at the end of these plate races, nobody lifts. That's what happens.
You know, we've seen a number of the same players up there repeatedly on these restarts. Eventually, do you start to show your hand, and do you have to get more and more creative in what you do on the restart so your competitors can't anticipate and take the advantage away?
You know, what was crazy is Allgaier was not connected to the car behind him as they took the green, but off of turn 2, the inertia and the momentum was rolling up top.
Yeah.
And so it's crazy on how many different strategies and different approaches that you can take to being a lead car or to being 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th. There's no rhyme or reason.
Yeah, and then if you're AJ, you kind of got clear off of 2 over there and had a shot to take a block at Justin. But maybe it was experience telling him, hey, if I block right here, Justin may turn me. I mean, he chose the bottom. He's still in an opportunity again right now to be on the bottom because Justin has chose the top with his teammate. So we'll see what Ryan Sieg does here, if he gives him a better push than this last restart.
Hey, I wouldn't mind having Noah behind me here on the front row.
Coleman said it. Best pusher in the series, he feels like.
Let's listen in on Earnhardt's radio.
Hey, Larry, how many more of these we go before we get fuel? We're still showing we got about 3.5 to 4 gallons, Mike. That's why you America's crew chief, buddy. You got America's engine tuner sitting beside me. There you go.
I love it.
That's right.
That's a lot of America. You guys got it totally under control down there.
Dad's got him pumped up there on the spotter stand.
All right, we're going to try it one more time.
Just the last one, or can we?
Oh, I hate to predict. Overtime number 3 at Talladega. Front row, Allgaier and Allmendinger, and we said it, Allgaier takes the outside lane, so he puts his teammate Noah Gragson behind him. That means Allmendinger working in the low lane, with Ryan Sieg. Is this the restart that decides it? Look at this. Allgaier's pulled out of line. He must be out of fuel.
I was
he
telling
was one
you.
that we felt good about, too,
Yeah.
with 4 tires.
Oh, my goodness. And he's got no momentum.
And that might
Noah
bring
got
out
the lead.
yet another caution. We'll keep an
Yeah.
eye on the 7 right now. Noah Gragson jumps to the race lead.
Yeah, but he's not going to be able to make it.
I mean,
up
Noah's
there.
got the lead right now, and then, yeah, Allgaier's down out of the way. The pace car's ready to pull up behind him, but here we go. We got Sieg pushing Allmendinger.
I'm actually watching the pace car.
Now remember, once we get back to the white flag, the next flag will end the race. Allgaier has gotten off the track and is behind the wall. Noah Gragson leading.
I tell you, this is when the cat and mouse game begins, and you hope that there's the inertia from behind, but right now Noah's going to do all he can to block all lanes of traffic.
We've had 12 last lap passes at Talladega, 4 of them in 8 races this year. White flag is out. Next flag will end the race. Can Gragson finish the deal?
Again, like all the cars are spread out back there. None of them are really lined up, but there's still such a long way to go to get back for another lap.
Now he's tracking back to 38
Oh, he clipped him. Saved it.
That was Sieg out of shape. Here
car's
comes
gotta
the
run.
3 of Jeffrey Earnhardt in that outside lane.
I'll tell you,
Come
that
on, Reed.
outside lane.
Earnhardt down low, pushing A.J. Allmendinger. Riley Herbst is in the mix. Brett Moffitt is there. Everyone behind the 9 of Noah Gragson.
Come on, 3.
They're 3 wide behind Noah.
Back up to him now.
Start-finish line down past the tri-oval at Talladega. Here they come. This will finish it in Alabama. Who's it going to be?
Down.
Noah Gragson wins it at Talladega Superspeedway.
It was a heck of a race.
I'll tell you, I thought the 3-car spirit was going to come down and
I
pull
did
that car to
too.
victory lane, but wow.
I was
Noah.
hoping to be back up there. Congratulations to Noah Gragson, Bass Pro Shops, Junior Motorsports. That was a heck of a run.
So proud of you and honored to be sitting on this pit box with all these
That was
guys.
really neat for Larry Mack and the gang on the 3-car, but Noah Gragson was able to make all the right moves, all the right, like the poise that he held through all of those restarts. And then once again, like the leader gets out there, and then 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, everybody's just fighting for table scraps, and nobody gets lined up to create that run.
Yep.
A lot of Earnhardt flavor.
That was cool.
At the front of the field. Noah driving for Dale Jr. and Junior Motorsports. And Jeffrey Earnhardt finishes 2nd in the 3-car, driving for Richard Childress.
Just take a ride along with this 3-car and just watch. It looked like he was even drifting sideways down the back straightaway when he was changing lanes. But this is off of the exit of turn 2.
38 gets loose, gets a little bit of run there. He's going to have this big run down the back stretch.
Watch that 3-car. And he's going to change lanes here. And it just looked like the car was like in yaw as he went to go and change lanes and go back.
Jeffrey Earnhardt said yesterday after he won the pole, my grandpa is my hero. And he looked like his grandpa driving that 3-car on the final lap. Just not enough time to get back to Noah Gragson, who has now won for the first time at Talladega and the 2nd time in 2022.
By that much.
Heck of a job.
Career best finish for Jeffrey Earnhardt. And look at Larry.
Look at Larry willing that car to the front. That's cool. So close.
No one celebrates like Noah Gragson. Climbing the fence at Talladega. Career win number 7 for the driver out of Las Vegas. All 7 victories at 7 different tracks.
Nice. It's good stuff for Noah. I mean, the kid's been working hard, and as many years as he's been in Xfinity, you now think that he's starting to master the cars. He's mastering the tracks, and he's putting himself in position to win more often. And again, it's Talladega, though. You never know what restart's going to be your restart, but he'll take it for sure.
Speaking of Talladega, you'll probably find him on the boulevard later tonight.
I don't know. He's racing tomorrow.
Oh, that's right. He can't. Oh, he's going to be bummed about that.
Yeah.
Better save it for Monday, buddy.
That's right.
He won twice in 2020, including the season opener at Daytona. A dry spell early last year, but boy, late last season, early this year, rolling. He's won 5 of the last 19 races, and he got it done again today, Regan.
Adam, Noah Gragson has been absolutely on fire in the Xfinity Series. Noah, you didn't have the lead at the end. You found a way on that last restart, though, to not only get your way up to the front, but to make the right moves to hold these guys off.
Yeah, we our 50th anniversary Bass Pro Shop Chevy Camaro was awesome. This Junior Motorsports team, they never quit. Thanks to everybody back at Junior Motorsports and the Fab Shop, everybody that helps get all 4 cars to the racetrack. We had 4 really fast cars, and Luke Lambert and the rest of this Bass Pro Shop team, they called one hell of a race and came down to fuel strategy. There's one point where I was like, man, I can't get up there. We just don't have the car fast enough, but we never quit. That's the most important thing, and so grateful all these race fans out here. We're at Talladega, baby. Listen to them. Damn, I'm supposed to race the Wendy's Biggie Bag 62 Cup car tomorrow in the Cup race, but Talladega Boulevard sounds a lot better right now celebrating. So we're gonna have some fun. Thank you, race fans, for coming out. Thank you, Johnny Morris, everybody at Bass Pro Shops, Rusty at True Timber, Black Rifle Coffee, Tough Coast, Superior Essex, everybody who gets our program to the racetrack, and one badass team, badass pit crew, and thanks to Hendrick Engine Shop for all they do. A lot of steam under the hood, but let's go celebrate, maybe get some beads, and maybe throw some out too. We'll go have some fun tonight, baby. Woo!
Noah Gragson, your Talladega Xfinity Series winner.
Well, and on the other side of that coin is the heartbreak for Jeffrey Earnhardt, Dale Earnhardt's grandson, and you did the Earnhardt name proud today. I got to tell you that was one heck of a run. What more did you need to improve from second to first?
Just a push there at the end. Everyone spreads apart, and it's really hard to build a run by yourself without someone out the back. And unfortunately, our teammates got wiped out early, but. Man, I'm living a dream here, and I'm so thankful to get this opportunity. So thankful for everyone to allow me to come do this. Super puffed, Dow Strong, all the fans, RCR for building this amazing race car. We were fast all weekend long, and we just fell a little short there, and I hate it. But congrats to Noah. He's good at plate races, but fell up a little short. But hopefully this will lead to a lot more to come in the future, and we'll be able to come back and give them a run for their money. But just very thankful to even be here. I'll forever be grateful for this opportunity.
Well done. His best career Xfinity finish. Adam, second place for Jeffrey Earnhardt.
Awesome day for all involved with that 3-car. Austin, Kurt, your final thoughts?
Well, I think Jeffrey, for me, he had a lot of pressure going into the day. A great race car. He settled in. He finished off strong. I was pulling for him down that backstretch. He pulled all the right strings when it mattered.
Yeah, this place only has that one gift for the guy that gets the trophy, but I agree with you. It seemed like the Earnhardt name and something was happening there in that second position, but then all of the heartache and all of the guys that ended up in wrecks that weren't doing anything wrong, that's Talladega. This place will chew you up and spit you out sometimes.
Had fun with you guys today. Good job. Good luck tomorrow.
Hey,
okay?
I called it on Noah. I knew he was wanting to go to the boulevard.
There you go.
I'm gonna
celebration going to continue throughout the night. Now we go to Vince Welch.
A.J. Allmendinger finishes third. I've never seen A.J. finish third and smile so big, but that's because he's the Dash for Cash winner, $100,000 bonus. Congratulations. How do you sum up this day today?
Well, this place makes me shake. Let's call it that. Like that was that last lap. I thought I had wrecked at least 7 times. So the first thing to just get out with a clean race car, finish in the top 5 is a big deal, but to win another Xfinity Dash for Cash, Comcast and Xfinity, thank you so much for what you do for allowing us to go for $100,000 in these 4 races. So to win 2 of them is a big deal. Another top 5 finish. The Nutrien Ag Solutions Chevy, it handled really well. We just kind of lacked top end speed, so they could get to my bumper and would kind of like rub and pull off of it and be able to kind of drive by me. And that restart there, I thought Allgaier was kind of laying back, so I was checking up because I didn't want to take off, but it didn't work out. But hey, we get to do it again in Dover, so thank you.
Well done. Adam?
Back-to-back races with an extra $100,000 for A.J. Allmendinger, Noah Gragson, Landon Castle, Ryan Sieg, the other drivers that will be up for the bonus next Saturday in Dover, Delaware. Coming up tonight on Fox at 8 p.m. it's 911, followed by at 9 Cleaning Lady. And tomorrow it's Cup Race Day coverage beginning at 2 p.m. Eastern Time on FS1. Then over to Fox at 2:30 for continuing Race Day coverage, followed by the Geico 500. Mike Joy in the booth with Clint Boyer and Dale Earnhardt Jr. Next Saturday, it's the NASCAR Xfinity Series from Dover. We're going to the Monster Mile. Coverage begins at 12:30 Eastern Time with Race Day. It's all on FS1. It was a great day in Talladega, Alabama. A thrilling finish in a 3rd overtime. The 3-car of Jeffrey Earnhardt comes up 1 spot short, and the spotlight belonged to Noah Gragson, who's a winner at Talladega for the first time in his career. Thanks for watching.
We are the ones at the top of the mountain, climb right in the buckle. One with the right crowd that likes to rumble. Hold a nice crown, it's hard to be humble. We welcome you now to our arena. If you don't know by now, it's hard to beat us. You can tell by our demeanor how hard we leaning. Leave a lasting impression on who is the best, and there won't be a question. You will remember our name when you see it in lights. We are the champions. We are the champions. We will fight through the pain. We'll be legends tonight. We are the champions. We are the champions.
This copyrighted telecast may not be reproduced, retransmitted, or used in any form without the authorized written consent of NASCAR Broadcasting. NASCAR would like to thank all of our fans for your support, and we hope you enjoyed today's broadcast.